Our new partner who I'm really, really excited to announce we are working with. Super, super stoked. Thank you, Angie Huberman, for this connect. It's incredible. AG1 Athletic Greens. I've been using them for a while. I have them every morning on an empty stomach. Basically take one scoop and you put it into a cup or glass or mug of 8 ounces of cold water. And this is all your greens for the day. You're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Every day I take this. It's so good for my digestion, my energy. It's simple. It's easy. I don't like taking a lot of vitamins. This has been really, really helpful for me. I've had a lot of stomach issues my whole life, and ever since I've been gluten-free and taking the AG1s, it's really helped me in my stomach in the mornings. I love it. I'm so psyched that they're part of the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm sure a lot of people don't like eating greens, let alone drinking your greens, but I can tell you straight up, it's got a mild tropical taste, and the taste is actually really refreshing, and I really look forward to it each morning. Don't think it's just going to be just straight bland. It tastes really, really good, and it's good for you, so remember that. This one blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's incredible, just one scoop, especially for musicians who are vegans or just musicians in general who want to get those daily greens. You can get the packets. It's incredible. I just gave some to my friend Derek from Sepultura. He traveled the whole entire world this summer, and he had those every single day. He said it saved him. I bring AG1s with me when I travel. It helps me stay healthy. You know the deal. If you're on tour and you are a picky eater, but you need to have your greens, sometimes catering doesn't have greens. Sometimes you miss the catering. Sometimes you miss the backstage food. Sometimes it's too late after the show to go get food that you like. So if you just have a scoop of AG1s in your hotel room before you go to bed, or you're in the hotel room at night and you're starving and you want something healthy, boom, life changer. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with some convenient daily nutrition. That's all you need, one scoop in a cup every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. This is it. I'm super psyched. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/OLLC. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/OLLC to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. This is incredible. I love it. It's just basic greens. For me personally, this has changed my life tremendously. I'm not a junk food vegan. I don't eat a lot of fake meats, so I'm strictly greens. And this has been a wonderful, wonderful new addition to my life. So once again, visit athleticgreens.com/OLLC. and get 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. athleticgreens.com/OLOC. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. They have now blessed me with my own code. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today, got my brother from another mother back with me, Mr. Chappelle Lacey. Thank you for being here, man.
Always, brother.
I appreciate you holding me down. And then in front of me, my brother from another mother for like fucking 30 years. He was already on the podcast once or twice, actually, on the phone. The phone is whack. In person, Mr. Freddy Cricien, a.k.a. Freddy Madball. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Live and direct.
Yes, finally. Way overdue.
It's so crazy to have you in the kitchen, just like, because you've been here many times, obviously, but welcome back, man.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been to your house, but happy to be here.
How you doing, man? How's life?
Good. Everything's good.
You've been busy too, right?
Yep. We've been. I've been busy in my personal life and trying to get the band moving again. You know.
Yeah.
After that whole hiatus, you know.
Yeah, but you guys been going hard since.
Yeah, we've been going kind of hard. We've kind of been reduced to being like weekend warriors, but we've been going hard on the weekends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you guys were you're the first ones, no pun intended, to set it off originally with the outdoor show and get things moving. And You know?
Yeah.
I definitely felt like music is such a big part of everybody's lives, and not having that for 2 years, and then just seeing live shows happen, and also going to live shows again, that shit that's missing in you. You know what I mean? You don't think really about it until the world just stops.
Yeah, no, it's a fact. You know, and from a performance standpoint, but even just from a, just entertainment standpoint, like you go to, going to shows, listening, you need that in your life, So, yeah, we were happy to be getting back at it. And obviously we were happy to make a statement like we did when we, the first show back. 'Cause that was fun to do and something that we were craving to do, but also we were making a statement at the same time. So it was kind of like a good combo.
Yeah.
Left, right.
And so when the world stopped for you, obviously there's panic. You have a family and you've been touring your whole life since you were like single digits pretty much on tour. And that's been a full-time thing for Madball. So like when that world stops, it was hard for everybody, obviously. But
brutal.
But you're a really hard-working band. Like you guys always on the tour. Well,
like yourself, you know how it is. We're like check by check with this hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
It's like we have to be active to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's little things that trickle in here and there, little merch, little whatever, but like, we have to be out there playing, and we couldn't do that. So imagine, we had to like. You go through everything you have saved. You go through, everything gets depleted. It's like you're starting all over again.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I know, because it's such a big sacrifice, especially in the genre that we're in with hardcore punk, like retirement plans and all that kind of stuff, medical insurance, just everything. It's a big sacrifice doing what we do.
Yeah, man. We're not set up with 401ks and all that. I mean, those of us who are a little older and have, gotten a little wise to the game. Yeah, of course you have insurance for your family, and you have certain things in place that you should have, that you need to have. But like, I didn't really have a big nest egg. Like we don't have like, $1 million royalty checks coming in that'll hold you down for, it's like none of that. It's
It's really a thing where
it's underground, man. Our music is working class of the music world, man. We got to be out there grinding, and we've managed, like Toby, myself, like some of us are in the lucky group of people that have been able to make a living out of hardcore music.
Yeah.
We're one of the few, that can do that manage that, but it's still hard, man. It ain't an easy game.
Nah.
Yeah.
What you gonna say?
No, I was just saying, like, it's fully one of those things where, like, what you put in, like, was what you get out. So you have 100%. To, like, it's one of those things where you just you have no choice but to give it your all to, make something.
Yeah, because you sacrifice so much for it, and this is what this is what you do, and this is how you express yourself. It's therapeutic for so many. It's writing songs and performing songs, and just I don't know, just like it's a release that we need and we're used to doing, and then that stops, and it's like. For me, I'm lucky I started this podcast before the pandemic. I had a bunch of banked episodes. I was really lucky I did that. You know what I mean? Really me.
And that's great that you had this to fall back on, man, because, that's for many reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just like monetarily, just like outlet, just like, just, therapy.
Yeah.
you had something at least to,
yeah.
get things off your chest and, stuff like that.
I know. It's been a couple of years since we went to Europe, too. And we're going to be going back soon next year. I'm really excited. It's been 3 years for both of us.
Yeah, yeah.
A long time, man.
I think 3 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Yeah, 3 years. It's been 3 years. That's crazy. It's crazy to say that out loud.
I know, because sometimes you're going there 3 times a year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we would be going there 3-4 times at minimum a
Different
year.
Festival runs.
Is that pretty normal?
Standard.
Yeah. Standard.
For 20 plus years,
Yeah.
Going 3-4 times, sometimes 5, sometimes 6 times. But like, I mean, we do it a little different than other bands because we go for shorter stints.
Smart.
Because of family stuff. And that's just that's like a choice. My choice, But like, there's other bands like my brother, they'll go out for a month at a clip, but they'll still even get out there 4 or 5 times, So it's like Europe is a second home to a lot of us, and the scene is so, potent there. It's
strong.
like it's so strong,
powerful,
and so
and supportive, man.
Supportive and so loyal.
Yeah, loyal.
So it's like, Yeah, I mean, to not have that in the equation is something to navigate, man. Like, we've only been doing the States, and mind you, this is our country. We love playing the States, but the States is not the same as Europe as far as hardcore goes. It's very hit or miss. And
you can always count on Europe.
Yeah, it's rare for Europe to be hit or miss. Like even if you're in like the boondocks somewhere in Europe, like,
random
it's a good
festival
show.
in the woods.
The most random place in the world, there'll still be like a packed show.
Yeah, it's true.
Here it's like it's a gamble.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I watch so many damn live concerts on YouTube.
Yeah.
And a lot of there is like a big difference with seeing like the reaction to if I watch like some live show that's in the States in comparison to what's going down in Europe, it just seems so like it's just I don't know, like a powerful thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why that is, man. Because obviously we have a rich history of like good music and all genres, all you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, so much great music comes from America. Yeah. But the fans.
I wonder if it's the scarcity.
It's very fleeting. Yeah. Like the people are it's the attention span is like super. It's getting shorter and shorter, and then it's like it's just whatever's hot. It's not so much focusing on the culture surrounding certain music or like it's I don't know, less invested in a way. You know what I mean? Like Europe's super invested. Like they don't just love hardcore, they love New York hardcore. They want to know everything about.
They want to study
CBGBs,
almost like a science.
How was CBGBs when you were there in 19 whatever? They want to know.
That's me.
History. They're invested.
Yeah,
they're hardcore historians.
Yeah, I'm not saying, and people in America aren't. There definitely are. There's definitely a percentage of people that are
100%.
Like down like that, but more so there. Yeah, and then I think that it reflects on like. The crowds and the shows, and then the festivals, right?
The diverse festivals.
That changes the game. The fact that we play as many festivals as we do, that brings us to a broader audience. So then that brings more people in on the smaller shows. We don't get that many opportunities in the States
because they're not just hardcore fest. You're playing with tons of bands from America that you never would play with in America. Yeah, like we play with Ice Cube, we play with the Wu-Tang, we play with all kinds of people in different festivals.
ZZ Top was playing right before we went on, and then that same day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Body Count was on that same show. Like it was like most random. Like
I love that
stuff.
shit. Though.
Yeah, and I love it. I absolutely love it, man. Yeah.
And what's cool about that when you see like another American band over there, they don't know how big H-Tours or Madball is, but we're just chilling on stage with Ice Cube, watch him perform once. Yeah. I remember Gnostic Front played that show. We get a picture with us and Ice Cube backstage, and we're from America too. Like we're all American bands playing together.
Can I tell you guys one of my favorite live shows of you guys?
Tell me.
It's Hazen Street.
Okay, where?
Gosh, I forget
Japan.
the name.
The Japan video. Nagoya.
Yeah, Nagoya. Yep.
The whole crowd.
Dude,
that's a fun
literally because like, as soon as the intro song starts, and the crowd's just like going crazy, and I'm like, oh, this is dope. And then you guys come out and they're just bouncing the whole, like literally the whole time.
Japan's something special, man.
The whole time. I think you guys open up with "Are You Ready?" and they're just like,
That was like the biggest reaction that we had gotten for Hazen Street up to that point. Like we had gotten good reactions, but we were a new band, and we were on tour with like, whoever.
POD Story of the Year.
So wait, how long were you guys a band at that point?
What year would that have been?
I feel like when he toured like a year.
That was. Yeah, but we toured hard.
I know every single tour.
Oh, really?
We toured in 1 year or two, 1 or 1.5, whatever it was. That span of touring, it was like
insane.
More touring than like we would do with our normal bands, like
Japan,
by a lot.
Warped Tour. Yeah. Japan with New Found Glory, Yellow Card, Warped Tour, Story of the Year Tour, POD US Tour.
Yep.
Yeah. It was crazy. Good Charlotte. That's right.
So sorry if I'm geeking.
No, geek out. Please geek out.
So and I like that you're talking about Hazen Street. That's fun. That's fun. It doesn't have to always be about Madball.
I'm just curious, like, because obviously you guys have had like pretty much who you toured with prior to that point was like bands that you like knew really well, and these guys are it's like pop punk, emo, which was like pretty big at the time. Even though Hazen Street doesn't even to me like even sounds like those bands because you guys had your own flair to it. Yeah. But what was you guys' feeling like? You're going on these tours with. I mean, because hardcore is like it's just different. You see a lot of goons. You see, it's a different world.
It's a different
so
world.
then now you're going on this tour with these kids. It's like it's almost like going to the suburbs. It's like you're going from the hood to the suburbs.
Yeah, that's
you know,
good,
so like
good analogy.
Yeah, so like what was that feeling?
It was weird, and you know what was
and just being really professional too.
Yeah. It is that better?
Yeah,
it helped us like. Yeah, there was a level of professionalism that maybe we weren't used to with our bands.
Getting on time.
Even though I think for being hardcore bands, like H2O and Madball are pretty pro.
Yeah.
Only because we've been at it so long and like we've done like festival tours. Like, so we have a little bit of, so it wasn't that foreign to us. And we had a great crew. We had all our boys, Warren and Royce. We had like guys that had experience. So like they helped the whole process, but yeah, the crowd was different. Like kids, like a lot of little girls and young boys and girls. Like just like there was a different,
like a different type of youth,
of youth. Like it was
win
cool,
the crowd over.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just so interesting because like obviously, I've watched so many Hazen Street videos from that era when you guys came out with that record, and just looking at the kids in the audience. And I'm like, man, I know these kids have never been to a Madball show. Oh, no. You know what I mean? So it was cool to like see that you guys were, as Hazen Street, able to hit this audience in such a dope way to where it's like, oh, I don't really know these guys, but I fuck with what they're doing on stage right now. Like, it's really, really cool to see. Like, I mean, that Japan video where they were just bouncing for you.
That was like special.
Yeah,
because we hadn't had we had good reactions here and there, but like we didn't have we hadn't had a reaction like that.
Yeah,
and the record did good there because of both our bands.
Really good.
The record did really good in Japan.
Got it. Okay.
For us, yeah.
So there was a crossover to where the hardcore fans were like.
Maybe not so much though. A lot of the fans in Japan there were some hardcore kids.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm curious what that transition was as far as like because people know, Set It Off, they hear that song or Demonstrating My Style, like, so, and then to hear the Hazen Street songs, was there like this transition of like, oh, damn, they got range. I could fuck with this too.
Yeah.
I was really proud of Freddie in that process, recording that record, because Freddie always had a style of singing with Madball. And then when Freddie's like, I want to try to sing more. And then Freddie, we started doing warm-ups together with Melissa Cross, really stepped it up. And then Freddie singing those songs on the record. It was fucking awesome. And rhyming and all that.
It was also fun writing, because
Swing House.
I had only written, Madball stuff up to that point. And then when we got like a lot of the songs that, Chad for the most part was putting together, like he would hand them, to us, and like, just they jumped out at me and they spoke to me in a different way, and I just wrote things differently.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
And I was even thinking, I would always have Toby in mind when I was writing, and
my vocals, what I could do.
Yeah, everything. Like I would, at the very beginning, I didn't know exactly how I would approach it vocally yet. Mm-hmm. Like he said, I was a little bit like, should I try to sing more? Should I try to... Like, I was still trying to figure all that out. But from the writing standpoint, I was writing... It gave me, like, a freedom to write differently than I've ever, that I had ever written before with Madball.
It's also like...
Because it's a different vibe.
This is what makes me think of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but okay, so as far as like younger artists, I think of artists like Justice from Trapped Under Ice, Angel Dust.
Right.
You listen to Trapped Under Ice, that's straight hardcore, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then you listen to Angel Dust, it's a lot of
totally
poppy, melodic,
different.
Very, very different songs.
I love that.
And I wonder, like, if you guys were like kind of like that first to really, hit like a very hard record, especially with Madball being so hard.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That is a good point.
I think about this kind of stuff a lot because I wonder, if
we open the door for some people.
If you open up the door for some people,
maybe.
like, I don't know. I'm not speaking for Justice because he would have to answer that kind of question. But I'm curious because I've been listening to a lot of his stuff lately, and then when I think about Madball, the Madball and the Hazen Street stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, I wonder if there was some like inspiration from Toby and Freddie when it came to him writing this stuff.
I mean, maybe, and that'd be cool.
Really cool.
I
Yeah.
mean, because
awesome.
obviously the scene right now is sort of like morphing into a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And it's getting really creative, and that's a cool thing. That's
I
a
love
good
that,
thing.
man.
But like maybe I mean when
and
we
it's
did
unheard
it,
of from hardcore.
Yeah, when we I mean H2O has always been melodic, right? So they it wasn't super foreign for them, but
Totally.
it wasn't in the vein of Hazen Street. Still, it was still different.
Yes,
but we didn't care like what people were gonna think about it.
Yeah,
like when we did Hazen Street, we were like, it's not like Madball's trying to do a Hazen Street record. Or H2O's trying to do Hazen. So Hazen Street gave us like the freedom to be like, we'll just do whatever we want with this.
Yeah.
But we'll still have elements of like, Chad, especially, he always wanted to keep like, let's keep a little hardness in there. Let's keep a little bit of that hardcore vibe because that's your lineage.
Well, we weren't catering to Madball H2O fans or Boxcar Racer or Newfound Glory.
That's my point, exactly.
We're just writing to write. Whatever came out. Like the
Yep.
most poppiest songs with the most gnarliest street lyrics.
Yep.
That's, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just different. So it was no pressure to write like the H2O or the Madball style.
Exactly.
That was a cool freedom.
It was awesome. Some of my favorite writing experiences were with Hazen
and
Street.
recording.
Because I could, like you said, I could write street stuff, but like, hey, we're singing it now, and it's like, and people are like, and they're like bopping their head, going, ha, 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 ha. Meanwhile, I'm talking about punching somebody in the face.
Yeah.
But it's like, cool.
Well, it's just interesting because I think this generation, it's a little bit more forgiving now. Whereas like you guys did it at a time
it wasn't as forgiving.
where wasn't as forgiving.
People were hating on us.
People were hating. But meanwhile, it's like when I think of people doing stuff like that, I go, yeah, it's not Madball, it's not H2O, but it's organic to who these guys are, and it's still them. That's what you guys weren't reaching. You weren't trying to do. Like you were doing something to show your range as musicians.
Yep.
If you agree.
You're 100% correct. And organic is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
It could, even if that word is overused nowadays, that's the fact.
Yeah.
It was 100% organic. Like everything about it. Like even the music we got, it wasn't like we listened to something and we were like, I don't know if I really want to write to this. Never. Mm-hmm. It never felt like that.
We took it all.
I listened to it and be like, yo, this is dope.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I see you walking around, it came out like
that
effortlessly and like organically. And I think that's why we all rode with it, because if it would have been something where like we tried it and we were like hitting a wall, we would have all been like, nah, man. Let's
it wasn't forced.
And
it just
here's
was natural.
the thing: you can always, I don't care who you are, you can always tell when someone's reaching. You can always tell when a person is reaching,
trying too hard,
where they're trying to. You can always feel it, but because I never listened to the record until I met Toby.
Yeah.
And so I just started doing the deep dives. Per usual is what I do.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
as I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like this is cool that they have this kind of range, and for it to just, I don't know, it just feels organic. And I even like the song like Crossroads, I'm always singing that one. Crossroads, I'm always singing. Just the initial lyrics, I'm like, even if you were like just straight hardcore mean mugging person, you hear those lyrics, and it's like, damn, I felt that before. Everyone's felt that. You gotta relate, They're like, how could you not relate? Yeah, I mean, and I think for people that did hate on the record, they were probably just trying to hold on to this thing so hard, and they didn't want to let go, and just just bring the wall down and be like, yo, let this be what it is. And you guys totally, it's totally separate. Yeah, I mean that, I don't know. Because I really like that record.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. We love doing it, man. That's one of my favorite things creatively that I've ever done. That record,
and then to be able to fast forward and like have the chance to see you guys do it live, I was like, oh,
that's fun as well.
Yeah,
totally.
Doing it live is
the
fun.
dual vocals, the back and forth, and just I don't know. It's just
a fun energy, right?
It's a fun energy, and not saying like what you guys do with your other bands isn't fun energy.
It's different.
It's just different to see that kind of combination of musicians come together.
Yeah,
and do that. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's a good time, man. It's always felt good. From the songs to like the live to like we're friends. Toby and I grew up together, and like even guys, even some of the other guys that I made, you know, Mackie, of course, we grew up with Mackie and we grew up with Hoya, but like even Chad and Dave, I didn't necessarily grow up with them. We didn't necessarily grow up with them, but they are just like, they're cut from a similar cloth, like they come from a similar world, and like we all just, it was always, it was a good group of people, man, and it was a really fun. Hopefully we'll do it again, man.
Yeah, no, and I liked it. We weren't trying to make hits. We weren't trying to be big. Those are the songs that came out.
Yeah,
there was no really expectations. There was nothing was forced. It just really worked and gelled, man. It's crazy.
I think it was a misconception that that's what we were shooting for. We were just trying to do something different. And if some success came our way with it, why not? We've been struggling with music our whole lives.
Yeah.
Well, God forbid we actually make money someday, you know, like
exactly. Yeah,
what's wrong with that, you know? But that wasn't the motivation. And a lot of people were like, oh, "What are you guys doing?" Like, we're doing what we want to do. We're doing something different. We're branching out, and we're not. You know, it doesn't take away anything from Madball. It doesn't take anything from H2O. It's its own thing. And then when it didn't pop off, everybody and their mother loved it.
Yeah. And over the past 10, 15 years, people loved it.
There was a big push.
Yeah.
You know what America should have done? They should have followed whatever Japan did. Whatever steps Japan took.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a smaller area to cover.
Yeah.
But whatever they did in Japan, America should have done exactly that.
Label, yeah.
Because when we got to Japan, like Toby said, people knew that record.
Yeah.
And they don't speak English.
Yeah.
I mean, some speak English. That's not their native language. Like, you know, and especially Japan. Japan, you know, they don't cater to like having to speak English. You know what I mean? Like, they knew the words. Like, they were like,
it was crazy, dude.
They knew the record. Like, they got it. They digested it, and they were like into it. You know, so it was like,
that's so crazy.
It's a shame that didn't, you know, they didn't follow suit with that, like in every other territory.
Well, I mean,
it could have been really cool, but hey, things play out the way they play out.
Yeah, exactly. But like in the hardcore world, like I mean, you guys did something like, you know, to that. The thing you did get out of it is that you were able to inspire, you know, the youth in a way to where it's like,
and maybe we did, like you said, like maybe this younger generation now that's out now doing like melodic and trying different things in their music.
And I only bring up Justice because you know, like when you listen to Trapped Under Ice, it's like, you know, just the purest, you know, of hardcore.
I mean, ultimate
in comparison to Angel Dust.
No, I hear exactly what you're saying, and ultimately, I mean, you'd have to ask them, but I mean, why not, right? I mean, if they grew up listening to our hardcore stuff in some way and then heard that generation would have been the generation that got Hazen Street, right? I mean, that would have been the generation that they were probably getting into hardcore right when Hazen Street was dropping, I would guess.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that would have been the generation, but who knows? But either way, we had a blast doing it.
There was crazy things with that. I remember like we were on Epic Records, but like nobody really wanted to like get a check, so like our manager gave us our record advance all in cash in his backyard. Remember that?
That was shady, but I mean, I had no issues with it at all.
But that's never been done in the history of music, probably.
Yeah, I'm sure it has been. But I was like, I'll take cash any day of the week. Let's go.
And the thing about Hazen, that it was just the timing. I feel like the timing was off as far as how much of another push it would have got after that year. But the thing about it is we were on DC Flag Records, which was Imprint of Good Charlotte's label, right, on Epic. And they were dropping, they had a huge record before Hazen. This was their soft, whatever the record was after that, like the double album. And so when that came out, all focus was just on them. Those are like the babies at the time. And we were just like the side project thing over here. Yeah. So that kind of overshadowed everything, and we just kind of went away. But
there were a few big records I feel like came out, but I also remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, Toby, but wasn't there like a changing of the guard too? Like right when, like, because we would be walking in there and they were like, you know, rolling out the red carpet, dropping rose petals at our feet. They were like, "You're gonna be the next thing," and that's, it's kind of weird. Like, I'm not used to that world, you know. Like, it was almost like overbearing. Like, it was like, you got, you know, what's his name? I don't want to even put his name out there because whatever. But a big guy who signed some big bands,
who brought the Clash to America.
Yeah. Homeboy brought me into his office and was like, "You guys changed music." Like, he said some crazy
I remember all that
out,
too. Yeah,
out of the box kind of stuff. I don't even know that I believed it. I was like, I don't know about changing music, but we're definitely doing something unique.
Yeah,
and it's unique to us, and it's hopefully unique to everybody else listening to it. It's something different for sure.
Yeah,
but he was, putting it up there with like other things that he had done.
Yeah,
and it, we're the type of people like we don't get like gassed up. Like, we were like, we come from like hardcore, where it's like, you grind.
Yeah,
and it's like,
you grind.
It's not about blowing up. It's not about whatever. It's about doing what you love, and then hopefully you can get some money to pay your bills, but it's not about.
It's not about the praise.
Shine.
It's like, yo, we do this because we do this and we grind it out.
I mean, mind you, I appreciate that. How much he appreciated the music.
Yeah,
and the album. I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, he really. Wow, this guy who signed the Clash, he really
crazy,
thinks this album is like the shit.
For sure.
Yeah.
But then, so I'm thinking we're on the trajectory to like do good things, big things. And we were like, okay, well, let's we'll play it cool. But like, and then it was like from 1 minute to the next. Oh, there's a new president. Oh, this, oh, that. Some album, a new president, a new
major label.
Blase album is dropping. All of a sudden, we weren't like.
You know what's dope?
It's true.
Right? Wasn't that weird?
Yeah.
It was like out of nowhere, man. It was almost like, what happened?
Yeah.
Because I know you like the music.
Label.
You were telling me how much you like the music.
Yeah.
I wasn't telling you. You were.
What's good about you going like, I mean, you can praise me all you want, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
What's cool about that is that like, you guys didn't let that make you bitter. Like you guys just kept going with the shit that you had.
Because you already had.
You know what I mean?
You already had stuff.
I mean, like it, and especially hearing from, like you said, this dude fucking brought the Clash to America. It's like talking you up, and you're like, okay, and you're not used to that. But what's cool is that like you heard that shit changed or whatever, and then you're like, all right, well, fuck it. I mean, I got Madball, I got H2O. Like, you guys didn't let it like fucking just. Affect
let us get bitter or jaded. Yeah,
because there's no expectations really. We were just going for the ride. It was a real ride.
Agreed.
Though. Like tour buses from
pretty
Jump.
Damn good.
Tour buses from Jump.
Yeah, it was some pro level stuff right from the rip. I mean, we were on tour bus, like he said. We were on some nice buses. Like it was nice.
We had like a whole trailer with all of our friend Tim Bergerman from Nike. Shout out to Tim Bergerman. Laced us with all Nike. So we had this whole wardrobe for the video shoot. Yeah. We had like our own like trailer in Lower East Side. It was catering.
When we did the video,
there
was catering.
Well, we had a trailer to go hang out.
That's what I'm saying.
On the street, parked on the same block where New York Hardcore Tattoo is.
Yeah,
right there. Like Stanton, right there. Like we had and they were like, "That's for you." Like, what do you mean that's for us? Like. For you to hang out in, like that's your backstage
like
on the street,
shit.
an RV or whatever.
Yeah, it's your backstage.
And I'm like, what? Like we've done guerrilla videos our whole lives. Like get out of a car, hey, get your camera ready, let's go, hurry up. Like.
Did you ever see the Down by Law video in the alley, motherfuckers?
Yeah, exactly. So no, the experience was awesome. I mean, I could remember like back to like when Homeboy was gassing us up. I remember Benji. Was it Benji or it must have been Benji? Benji comes up to me one day and he's like, yo, here, Freddie, and he gives me the phone, and it's Pharrell on the phone.
What?
Oh, that's right.
And I'm like, he's like, yo, it's Pharrell, and I'm like, Pharrell? Okay. I'm like, hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? He's like, yo, you hit it out the park. About the record. You hit it out the park, and I'm like, wow, coming from a guy with the, with the things he has under his belt, the production he's done, like it was. Hey, respect, man. That was a big compliment, So I was like, this was the same time. So imagine hearing all these different things from all these people. You're thinking, hey, this might end up all right,
Yeah. We're definitely excited about, proud of it too.
Of course, yeah. Why wouldn't you be?
But we kept it also like realistic. We were always like, whatever. I'm ready. I'll go back in the van tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
We did making the video too in MTV.
Yeah.
We did making the video. And then we got flying out there in the middle of the Warped Tour to do like a showcase. Yeah. We had to leave the Warped Tour.
Yeah, right.
We played for the whole entire room, all execs from Epic.
Oh, yeah, the showcase. That was wild.
Dude, we had to leave the Warped Tour to fly to New York.
I didn't realize
we played in front of a bunch of suits.
Really?
In a room, like in a basement with a stage.
Like
it was
a
like a
conference
little
room for a hotel or something.
It was like a maybe below the hotel, or there was a hotel nearby, but
At
it was like a basement. There was a little stage.
Uh-huh.
And we weren't the only band that played. There were like all the up
couple
and coming
bands you were looking at.
Up and coming bands that like were gonna get signed or were already signed. And I think they wanted to be like, you know, who's good out of this batch? Maybe I don't know. I don't know what it was. You know,
yeah,
but yeah, there
That's
was like
so weird.
a reggae girl, like a random other. It was like all different genre. It was like it was very strange. And then here we come and like, what are we gonna do? And there's like older dudes like
sitting at tables, man,
suits and ties, like.
And they fly us in for this.
And I'm saying older, like, you know, like 60s, 70s.
Totally.
Like, and then younger people too, of course, but like every range of like, it was the industry. The president was there. Was it Donnie Einer or whatever? One of those guys, like all these big wig names. And we had to come out and do Hazen Street in front of them. I'm like, this is going to be bizarre.
So we did one song. The crowd was just kind of weird. Me and Freddie looked at each other, and me and Freddie started walking through the tables like singing. So we like
unrehearsed, anything. We looked, like he said, we looked at each other, and we kind of both knew we got to set this shit. We got to do something different here because like this shit's already weird. Like we might as well get weird with it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So we started going into the crowd and singing our shit and
walking
and
through the tables,
like, and they were like, we got a standing ovation.
When
we were done,
dude.
The whole room. But they wouldn't stop clapping. It was like, this is awkward.
It was very... Thinking about that was really freaking crazy and surreal,
Remember?
man. Yeah.
We
had a standing ovation by the whole freaking team.
So just to give people a little bit of backstory, insight on like, you know, not everyone knows, you know, that story of that side of what happened with Hazen Street and shit. But yeah, it was some funny stuff. You out of here?
Yeah, I got.
You got to catch a plane.
We're flying to now.
All right,
Milwaukee, baby.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Shout out. Someone here?
I thought someone was here for a second. I was tripping out.
You can't do that to me. You know I don't dig that. Yeah, right.
Get the thing out over here.
All right, man.
Thanks for joining us for the
Chappelle, good seeing you, buddy.
Chappelle.
Safe travels, buddy.
Yeah.
Great seeing you. Wait, you guys. This is on your only Cali run?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure you'll come. We'll go somewhere. We'll see you somewhere. Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
We'll see you on if I don't see you on this coast, I'll see you on the other coast.
All right. Perfect.
Let me know where you're playing too. Yep.
Right.
Let me know. Keep in touch with me.
Peace, Chappelle. Yeah, it's me and Freddie in the kitchen now. We're chilling now. I have random notes because you've been on here twice, or I just talk about different things.
I can't even remember what we talked about on those ones
because
I think wasn't that early on when you just first started it?
Just like meeting each other, all like getting to music, and our generation that came out together on the same time. Because you came out, Madball came out way before H2O as far as the 7-inch is concerned. But then as far as like really playing shows and all that, and then like us and Crown of Thorns came out.
That was kind of similar, yeah. We were playing shows around like you know, we might have had you beat by like a year or something, you know, but like playing shows wise.
Yeah.
But like not much long after.
When did Set It Off come out? Because our first record was 96. I think
Set It Off was 94.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So you had 2 years. You're right.
But Dropping Many Suckers was 92.
That's damn.
Ball Destruction was 89, but I don't even count that as like because we weren't
That's where I when I met you though, because that was 89 that tour with Agnostic Front.
Yep.
Because I was 19.
Mm-hmm. I met you. I think it was probably 90. I feel like it was 90, and you were with Sick of It All, and then obviously we reconnected in New York, but we didn't get active till after Dropping Many Suckers, so that would have been 93, 92, 93. 93, we did our first Europe tour with AF.
That's right.
And then we were doing weekends in New York, and then not long after that, you guys were kind of. When did you guys first start playing?
Our first show was 90. 94 was like our first show in Queens. One show.
I was there. Yep.
Crazy ass show. That was like the first show. Then we really kicked off in 95, and the first record came out in 96.
Yeah, that was fun. That Queens when we were all there in the back watching. I remember that. It
was a crazy ass show too.
You didn't have a lot of music.
Not like 5 songs.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that it's 2022? I'm 52 years old and nobody knows your age. We have to tell anybody it's a secret.
No, I don't care.
But we're here. We're here talking about this shit like that many years later and still playing music, man.
Yeah, it's incredible, man.
And it's crazy because like none of our shit's like. We had probably had some college radio play here and there, a couple videos here and there on some like
especially you guys. You had a moment there.
We had a
you
moment.
Were getting really
Yeah, but I'm saying.
But generally speaking,
Yeah, and that's something, and we're still here, and there's like a lot of bands that are still here that had so millions and millions of records, and they're just chilling, and they really don't have to tour, And they do tour, but we do it and we love it and we're still doing it. It's just crazy, man.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome, man.
And we're adults. We have kids. We own houses. Yep. We pay mortgages. We're like, pay taxes.
Who would have thought we'd be able to have a house doing hardcore, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an easy task. I mean, you know,
No.
you still got to come up with that monthly, you know, mortgage or whatever it is. But I would have never thought I'd be able to buy a house. I mean, but it took however many years.
Because I met you living in a squat.
Yeah.
On 10th Street.
Yep.
Your brother's squat.
B&C, 10th Street B&C, right down from Tompkins Square Park, man.
That's so fucking
Fun
nuts,
times.
man. Yeah, I remember he had that big ass dog I used to always walk.
Rocco.
Woo!
Rest in peace.
Freddie had this pit bull that was so fucking strong. His head was gigantic, and it was just like he would pull you down the street.
Yeah, Rocco was hard, man. He tough dog, man.
Did you find that dog somewhere?
No, I got him through. I think he was related to one of my brother's dogs from back in the days. My brother used to breed pits, and he had this grand champion named John Boy, and then he had John Girl. he had this line of dogs that were very, very like respected.
Okay.
Like this family was like, you know, was a grand champion, blah blah blah, all this stuff. So like a real high quality, you know, line of pits.
Gotcha.
And somehow, like one of his daughters or whatever, they had a litter, and they offered it to my brother, and he was, you know, he was done with the pits and all that, but I was like all about it, so I ended up getting Rocco, and then I mean, I was probably too young to have a dog, and I was like, you know, living in a squat, wild style by myself, so it probably wasn't the, you know, the
How
best
old are you
choice.
then?
16.
Damn, man, it's so crazy.
Yeah, 16.
Just imagine like our kids living in a squat right now or somewhere at 16 years old. We'd be tripping on it.
I wouldn't even let it happen, I don't think.
I mean, Max just left. We said goodbye to Max a couple minutes ago. He's going to Europe for 10 days with his girlfriend, not on tour. He's 19. And I'm tripping. He's 19. He's like a young man. But still, to me, it's like, it's my baby. And he's still a teenager, but he's like traveling. But yeah, it's
incredible, man. He's going to have fun. That's awesome.
It's crazy how time goes by faster when you become a parent.
Oh, yeah.
Do you notice that?
Yep, absolutely, man. I was just showing them. I FaceTime with my son on the way here, and he was saying hi to the rest of the guys in the band. And they were like, man, he's growing up. He just turned 11.
Wow, man.
And I'm like, he's like FaceTiming me, and like we text and stuff. It's like, this is wild, man.
Like
he was just a little, I just, you know, held him in my arms. He was just a little baby, man. Like, so yeah, I can, and you forget it. You must be feeling crazy. With like, you know, he's about to fly to Europe right now, like solo. Like, it's a bug out.
I know. Now it's like, should I have got my my Johnson snipped and should have kept it because I should have a second kid because I'm having that leave the nest syndrome heavy on me. Like, you can stay longer. I mean, you're only 19, man. It's expensive to live in LA. Like,
yeah, no facts.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the part that's just like.
But is he itching to like?
Nah.
Get out of here? Nah.
It's crazy. The generation now, like a lot of kids are living at home long if they're not going to college or just working. Yeah. It's expensive, especially out here, like gas, just everything. So
yeah,
if you have a good relationship with your family, you want to be at home, why not? As long as you can.
I got no problem with it. Yeah, as long as you pull your weight, and yeah. I told Cash, you welcome.
But you on your own early.
Yeah, I just had my life is very different than our kids. My life was wild style.
But what you moved to New York with your brother, like how old were you then?
16.
Okay, yeah. 16, yeah.
Yeah, because, I actually, I mean, I don't have to say the backstory because you know it better than most.
People can listen to that episode.
But people probably listen to the old one too. But yeah, I was born in New Jersey, and then my family relocated to Florida. Yeah. And then I was in Florida from like the age of like 4 or 5 years old till like 16. You know. Yeah. It was cool. And I have great memories of Florida, but there was also a lot of like turmoil and chaos in my family life too. So it was like a bit of both. But anyway, I always had this like, desire to go to New York. Yeah. I spent a lot of summers in New Jersey with my family, which is my birth state. Yeah. I have aunts, uncles, cousins there, so I always spent a lot of time there. Get away from the whatever and in my house, whatever it was, just take a break. And then my brother would scoop me up and I'd go to the city. So ever since I was a kid, I was like, enamored with
city.
Like New York. And
because I remember you used to always move away and then you come back, like you leave Brooklyn and you're in Florida.
Well, and then the thing, the thing was like when I was little, you're a kid, so you can't like just up and move to New York. But finally, I was a rebellious kid, getting in trouble in school, doing whatever I was doing, and I basically told my mom and my brother Rudy, who was like kind of like my surrogate dad, and I was just like, I'm going to New York. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what I did. I was like, I'll figure out how to get there. And then I called my brother Raj, and he was like, listen, and then we worked it out. He was like, listen, if you're going to come, you stay with me in my place, which is the squat.
Which was nice.
Which was nice. Hooked up. He's he knows electrical, and he's a handy guy. So he had it like about as hooked up as you can have a squat,
Yeah.
And then, so that was, and I jumped on La Cubana, which is like the Cuban Greyhound.
Wow.
It's called La Cubana, literally. And it dropped me off in Union City, New Jersey, which is not far from where I was born. And my brother scooped me up in this crazy, like, rusted out, like, I don't know what year, 70-something pickup.
Wow.
Which are actually popular now. The ones that are like really popular, like those pickups, like the 60s, 70s pickups that are like hot right now.
Okay.
It was one of those, like orange, like I don't know, it's crazy. I remember just putting my bag in the back in like the big suitcase. That was everything I brought. I just brought a suitcase. I threw it in the back of the truck, sat there, and I remember looking at the skyline on the way into the city, and I was just like, had a big smile on my face. I was like, I'm here.
Wow.
I was like, I'm home. And I don't, I know I'm not a New Yorker.
Yeah.
Born in, like native. I wasn't born there, so I can't claim that. Like you, we can't claim that. We'll never be able to claim that because we weren't born in the city. But
our bands were born there.
That's exactly right. Our bands were born there. Part of who we are was formed there.
Yeah.
Very formative years where we moved there. Like very formative years, and like I feel like we embraced the city. And the city embraced us.
Yeah, man.
So
we dived
we're honorary. Whatever you want to say about it, I've never claimed. I've never was like, I was born in New York.
Nah, me either, man.
Other people like might put words in our mouth. Like I know like people try to put words in my mouth about like I've never ever. I mean, my story is a known thing.
Totally.
It's
Same.
Like, I was rocking a Miami Hurricane sweater.
When I met you were too.
And Set It Off, and the Set It Off album. So I was clearly giving a shout out to my Florida people or whatever. So it was like, I've never fronted like I was from New York, but I will say I always felt like I was an honorary New Yorker just because of my love for the culture, the music that we were doing, the music, the scene that we were part of, the whole culture around it. And even just like we were into hip hop culture. So that was like the mecca for that. There's just so much about it,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I always have that love for
and we can rep New York hardcore even though we haven't lived here in a long time, right? What do you think the radius clause is on that? Like almost every New York hardcore person who doesn't live in New York, but we all rep it worldwide. It's awesome though.
If you've really if you've really lived in New York, like not gone there and lived in like some penthouse and like go there once every 5 years, but you own a penthouse there somewhere, like. If you've actually run around in the streets and created, and like actually lived the New York life.
Blood, sweat, tears.
And like struggled and like made music there and like your music was influenced by your environment. Like I think that we have like a lifetime pass.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To claim New York hardcore. I'm just saying.
If you were in Dumbo, New York back then.
Yeah.
Hanging out or different parts of Brooklyn or.
Yeah.
That's a good point,
Even Willie B was way different, man.
That's right.
We used to walk across the Williamsburg Bridge to go hang out with some friends that lived in Willie B, and it was like drugs everywhere. It was like Williamsburg was not what it is right now.
Nah.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself ever living in New York again or not?
Never.
Me either, dude.
Never.
It's so weird.
I love that city, and we had our time there.
Yeah, it would never be like that again.
It was fantastic. And like it helped mold us in so many ways. Like it made me a man. Living there, but like
you went through a lot of shit in New York, man.
I wouldn't want to like bring my family into that situation right now. Like why? Like all I could afford would be like a little box, you know, and like like why when my kids can have a backyard and like it just wouldn't make any sense at this stage in the game, like for me to like live there again.
Would it be safe to say that we were listening to more hip hop than we were to hardcore? Even though we were in hardcore bands and going to hardcore shows, we spent a lot of time going to like Palladium, Limelight, all these different clubs, Sheets and Pillows. Like we would go to a matinee that night. We'd go see all that stuff. Like we were so into that, man, and the timing was perfect for us out there.
The tunnel sometimes we didn't frequent the tunnel, but we made some appearances there.
Sheets and Pillows for sure.
Sheets and Pillows was I love that.
Limelight, Palladium.
Yup, Limelight back in the days when Dom was spinning.
Oh, and Hip Hop Room.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
But just like going to see all different shows all the time, man, it was just the perfect timing to be there.
I think I to answer.
So lucky to have been there that time.
Oh man, yeah. Imagine we lived in New York in the '90s. Imagine all the hip hop that came out in the '90s. We were there when Wu-Tang dropped, when Biggie dropped, when Nas dropped, when Mobb Deep dropped. Like we were not just there. We were like there in the clubs. Like they'd be coming into the clubs that we were hanging out in. Like we were living that. You know,
Black Moon, all that shit, Gangstar, dude.
Man.
It was such a great time
to
be
Smith and Wesson. Remember all that?
Yeah,
Onyx,
man.
all that.
Onyx too.
Yep.
Were you in the Onyx video too? Right? Were you in the
I was in one of them briefly, or maybe I think Shades of Grey maybe or something.
Well, that's Biohazard, Onyx video.
Biohazard,
Right.
I was at the Onyx video with everybody, and then I had to bounce because I was supposed to go babysit Nadia, my niece, and I was actually running late, and Amy was screaming at me, my brother's ex-wife or ex-lady, and she was like, "You're supposed to be, you know, but I'm like 17, I'm like, you know, irresponsible teenager, bro. Like, I could be in an Onyx video. Like, I don't want to babysit.
Yeah.
But like, it was my niece, and of course, I had said I would do it, and then like I ended up like staying for a while, and then like feeling bad, and then like I never got to be in the video, which is I don't really care about that, but those are fun times, man. Yeah. And we were maybe more hip hop than we were hardcore, to answer that question.
Totally, man.
In a way, in a weird way, like we loved hardcore.
Yeah.
But hardcore was in that weird transitional point.
Totally.
So we were like more about like going to hip hop clubs and like, but then when the shows would come, we were all about it.
Remember Carhartt from like the actual like Army Navy stores? It's crazy like that come out here now. My son's all about Carhartt because it's like Carhartt Whip. It's like a branding thing. It's like a streetwear brand started in Europe, and now it's like everybody's rocking Carhartt.
I love it.
It's just crazy how this stuff comes full circle like that. Because you were rocking all that shit back then when it first came out.
We were deep with the Carhartt and all
Chuckas, Timberlands, all that stuff. Like Air Force Ones too.
Yep.
Which all the kids are wearing now too.
Are they back?
They're back, but they
never left.
They wear Air Force Ones until they're completely dirty and creased and ripped, and that's a style. They're written on with markers, so they don't wear them crispy like New York.
I was ahead of my time though, because I was the type that wore them till they get.
You actually.
I wore them out, man. I was like, I'm like that with sneakers. Like I wear them out. Like,
were you ever like a big sneakerhead?
I was never like a big sneakerhead, man. I would just, I would wear them. I'd wear them till the wheels fall off, and then get a new pair. Maybe I'd have a few pairs at a time, but like, not like you.
I've seen you in all styles though, not just Nike, Adidas.
No,
New Balance, everything.
Yeah,
you'd rock them all.
Yeah, I mean, I like certain styles, but I just wasn't a collector of like. But I loved the Air Force Ones. I always had a black pair, a white pair.
Yeah.
Stan Smiths. I'm big on the Stan Smiths, and I always loved the Pumas. I was always a big Puma fan from like back in the suede Puma days when I was a kid.
Would anybody ever see Freddie Madball wearing like Vans? I've never seen you.
Vans I never got down with.
Like slip-on. I never seen any Vans really.
No, I never got. I might have gotten a free pair during Hazen Street and like rocked them for like a half a second, but like. And there's nothing wrong with Vans, but my kids, they like Vans.
They love Vans?
Well, they did back, a few years back, like they wanted like the checker Van, that was like a thing. But I never got down with the Vans. Skateboarding wise, I got down with Vision. I had the Vision like suede Vision joints.
What?
Yeah.
What board were you skating?
I had a Tony Hawk board. That was my first. No, yeah, that was my first board.
Actually,
and then I had.
We never actually talked about this. You street skated.
I just bullshit skated.
No tricks.
Not really. I might have started learning. I might have been able to ollie a little bit, and like I just started learning, and then like it really was a phase for me. I can't even claim to be like a skater because it was like a phase. But I loved it. Like all the Bones Brigade,
Woo.
like watching all those. Like I was all about it. Like for a quick minute there, I was like, I'm gonna do this, man.
Is that before we met? Probably had it because I was early.
Yeah, that was before
80s.
we met.
Yeah.
That was before we met. That was I was in Florida and I had like a little crew. And we would all, and one of my boys had a Steve Caballero board. I had like a Tony Hawk board with the cross with the eagle head. That shit was hard.
It is hard.
And who else had? Maybe somebody had like a Mike McGill board, like those when all those guys like Guerrero, like all those skaters like that. They were all big.
Yeah.
And then my second was a Santa Cruz slasher board who had the big slime face.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I had
didn't
that
know
board.
this.
Yeah, I had.
Did you like skate a quarter pipe maybe?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we would jump little ramps, the little street ramps.
Yeah, launch ramps.
Yeah, little launch ramps. We would do that for sure. I did that a bunch.
But
I never got down with like half pipe and like all that, like and that's pool skating or any. And I never got. It didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't blossom into. It's same thing with like BMX stuff. Like I used to ride like GT Performers and this and that,
Damn.
but like I never got to the point where I'm doing tricks and like I'm doing.
It was just fun.
It was just fun kid stuff, So for me, all that stuff was like more of a phase. But
and you never skated in New York either once you got there.
No. By the time I got to New York, I was done with all that.
Yeah, you want some other.
I was on some other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were in the streets,
I was
literally.
on
Yeah.
some thugging.
Yeah, man.
Young boy thugging shit. Like,
I know, man.
I was all about hip hop. And then the hardcore, obviously, we started doing that again. And then, like, I was just about some other stuff.
Were you drinking or partying in Florida before you moved to New York? Were you like a
minimal?
Like smoking weed or cigarettes?
I never was big on weed. Weed, I would try it, and it would always make me paranoid. And like I would say, I'm never gonna do it again. And then maybe I'd try it again at some point. Like very sporadically. But I never loved the way I felt on it.
Yeah.
Never a big drug guy, really.
Especially when you were young, right?
Yeah, especially when I was young. I got into a phase later on, unfortunately, with certain things, certain white things. But
that's super addictive, though, right?
Yeah, but I never was a drug guy. Like how like kids experiment and like let's do acid, let's do this, let's do that. Like I never really wanted to get down with like. I didn't want to feel like that stuff.
Lose
was like
control.
I wasn't like I didn't like that. But drinking, I gotta say, I did like.
Yeah, you crushed some 40 ounces too.
I crushed 40 ounces. When I was in Florida, I didn't drink a lot. I'd skip school with my friends sometimes, and maybe we'd have a little like sip on something. But it was like very like, young and innocent kind of in a way. Like it wasn't like we were like getting smashed.
Yeah.
But like when I got to New York, we definitely started hitting the 40s and.
Yeah.
Some guys smoked, other guys, did angel dust. I don't know.
I remember that.
Like I never fucked with angel dust, bro. Like that kind of stuff. Like I don't mess with any of that. Like, eventually I did try. I didn't even like, like I knew guys that I was the last guy to try coke.
Yeah,
like,
I've been around you on that stuff, and it's stressful because I know that's like, it's just seeing people on it, not just you, but just people we're hanging out with, but like. Just like the next day and how that's such a high and such a low. Super. It seems really fucking
depressing.
Hard. Yeah,
it's depressing, man. There's no point in even. Yeah, I used to. I was around it, and I would. I can. Help you find it if you need it. But like, I was never the guy that was like, let me do that. I'd see people like with their mouths going, their jaws going. I'd be like, yo, what's wrong with dude? Like.
Yeah.
And then, a few years later, I try it, and
I've seen the teeth grinding, man. This shit's
and I was
gnarly,
like, I was like, kind of, bummed at myself for like,
is that
and then that phase ended up actually, dabbling in it off and on for like years, and then finally I was like, this ain't me, man. I gotta fucking, and I'm, I like to have my drinks, I still imbibe, I still have my little beers and whatever, and my little gin and tonics or whatever. But like, the drug thing, like I haven't touched like coke in like over 10 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Like,
what about? No, and I talked about too is like the way you grew up. You talk about it. You talk about your songs. You talk about throughout your life. Is writing songs? But has that been your therapy? from how you were growing up, or have you ever had therapy? Has Freddy Madball had therapy?
No, somebody tried to send me to see somebody one time, and I couldn't do it, man. Like,
yeah,
you know, I was like, it wasn't my thing. And I'm not saying, you know, if it's something that, you know, you find helpful.
Yeah.
You know, it's up to the individual, man. Everybody's different.
Totally.
You know, but me personally, I couldn't get down with it. My family was really pushing it, you know, just because of my upbringing and then where I was headed at one point in my life. My trajectory was like not good. So it was like, what's wrong with this kid? You know? And I'm like, you know, so yeah, they pushed for that. And I tried, you know, just to like appease them.
Yeah.
And like, but it never really was my thing. But, you know, really what helped me, music was a big help.
Yeah, it was a release for you.
And meeting, you know, like Lisa, who's my wife now.
Yeah.
That changed my life tremendously because I was probably at my darkest
when she came
point
was like
in my life. Exactly. When she, and, you know, may sound corny to some or cliche or whatever, but that's just the facts of like how it played out for me. Like,
yeah,
I was literally on my way to either the grave or doing another bid in jail, but a longer one, not some skid bid, you know, like a real bid. So
long time, years.
Yeah, I was headed there. I was still on probation when I met her. Like, I was like in a bad way, you know, and so I attribute meeting her at the time that I met her
life-changing
to be life-changing. And then the music was always enough. You know, Toby, you remember, like, we'd be hanging out in the LES, whatever, Avenue A, our stomping grounds, and then we'd get a tour, and that sort of pulled us away from the drama 100%. For a while. It was like, oh, shoot, we're going to Europe. Oh, so now you're away from the drama. So
really
hardcore literally saved our lives. I mean,
yeah.
And I was more susceptible to, like, getting in trouble, you know? So, like, those of us who were, like, you know, in that, you know, category of people,
sure.
that it
really
was extra
saved
help.
You, man.
Yeah,
it really saved you.
Yeah.
And when you came out of your little vacation there, did you feel like that changed you?
I guess the slap on the wrist wasn't really hard enough.
Yeah.
You know, it was only a little bit. You know, it was like, I mean, any amount of time in jail sucks, you know.
Yeah.
Anyone will tell you that, you know. One day is sucks.
Yeah.
You know, so but it was like, you know, a 6-month bid and then 5 years probation and da. You know, I got, you know, luckily I had a hookup to a really great lawyer, which wasn't cheap. And actually the hardcore community came together to help me out with that.
Remember that.
Which I'll never, you know, I'll forever, you know, I'll be eternally grateful to the scene for pulling together like that for me. This is before there was GoFundMe's and this and that, and like people, you know, now people like trip on a rock and like put a GoFundMe up, you know, to like, you know, fix their, you know, scratches on their knees or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, but this was some real shit that I was looking at.
Yeah.
And I didn't really, you know, my brother sort of organized it all, but yeah, you know, long story short, I got a lot of help to get like a good lawyer to help me get like the best case scenario sentencing wise.
Yeah, and were you even scared? I mean, were you scared going in or no?
Not really. I mean,
that was even. I think that was even scarier. Like, he's not even scared. This happens. Like, fuck it.
I wouldn't say I wasn't. You know, I didn't have nerves about it. Like, you always have a little bit. I mean, you have to have a little bit of fear, like that. You know, fear is.
But you can't show it.
It's a healthy thing, you know, because it's going to keep you on your toes. But yeah, absolutely, you can't show it at all. And I wasn't like, I knew I wasn't going in for like, you know, 20 years. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm gonna do a little 6-month bid. It's not the end of the world.
But it's still
that can turn into other things.
Totally.
That's what my family. That's what people close to me were worried about. That I was, you know, I'm a little bit of a hothead, so I'm going to get into something in there. I'm going to have to defend myself or something or blah, blah, blah. And I get, you know, and then now that turned into 6 years, you know, and then 6 years turns into, which happens all the time.
Yes.
So that was the big fear. But I I carry myself in there the same way I carry myself on the streets.
Totally.
I don't bother anybody. I'm respectful. As long as you're respectful to me, I don't get in people's business. People don't get in my business.
Yeah.
It's all good. And luckily that's pretty much how that whole ride went. And I met some cool people in there, and like we held each other down, and like it was fun.
Yeah, I remember taking the bus there with Craig, sick of it all, to go visit you there, and like I think I brought you some Source magazines, and they went through all the pages, and we can't hug you in the orange suit. It was hard, man. It was hard to see you like that. You know what I mean? Like being that moment was like a real reality. Like
it's a different it's a grimy existence, man. It's
Hold It Down came out while you're in there, correct? On Epitaph.
No, I think it came out right before that all happened.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to tour a bunch for Hold It Down, and then I caught that case, and then I was fighting it. I mean, I got locked up initially and then got bailed out. Shout out to my brother Raj. Bailed me out, and then then I had to lawyer up and get ready to fight it. But I didn't have a lot of priors. I was like, I had a pretty good record going into it. I had been in things, but like I had always been good at avoiding getting caught.
Totally.
So, I didn't have like this crazy rap sheet,
No.
So I had a lot of things that worked in my favor. And thankfully, no one actually got hurt.
Yep.
Although people could have gotten hurt.
Yeah.
But
that's the best part.
Or worse, but no one did. Yeah. So that helps you because it's like, all right, well, something happened and it was crazy, but no one got really hurt.
Yeah, 100%.
Actually,
could have been
shot
way
or killed
worse.
Or whatever. You know what I mean?
Way
So
worse.
it's like, it changes everything. So yeah. Luckily, I got what I got, and it was probably the best case scenario. And then, back to what you were saying, like, did it change me? You would have thought that it would, but for whatever stupid reason, when I came out, since I really wasn't doing the band anymore, I kind of dove deeper into street shit.
Yeah.
Which is completely like stupid.
Is it because you made it through that with no problems and you fucking held it down?
Maybe I had a little chip. Invincible. Maybe I thought, like I held myself down and I had people holding me down, and I kind of like
felt invincible,
carried myself in a way where it was like, yo, I can handle that. No problem. I had my own phone. I was like, all right.
Damn.
I'm good. I got it through my boy, Frank Fabozzi.
Shout you out.
Yeah.
And you had some.
I never saw him after that, but he was my homie in there, and a couple other homies that I had in there. When he left, he's like, "Yo, I got a bunch of I got that phone."
Yeah.
And I had my time on that phone, but I took over his time. This weird talk. People are like, "What are you talking about?"
No.
There's like three. There's like 3 phones, or 2 or 3 phones, and there's like the black phone. There's like the Latin phone.
Wow.
And then there's like the whatever else other.
Yeah. And 3 different phones. Wow.
And I held down like and then my homie was an Italian kid, but he was on the Latin phone. Like the Italian and the Latin phone were one, I guess, because he was like a minority too, because he was like wasn't necessarily a white boy, but he was Italian kid, so he was like, I don't know. Somehow he was on the Latin phone, but it's important because you want to make sure like you can call your people and stuff. So like you don't think about that kind of stuff, but then it's like, what are the politics? I have to make a call. Like, what are the politics now? I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but no one's gonna tell me that I can't call my people.
Exactly.
So then you start to have to navigate. How do I do this? So you go up to and you try to be respectful, and then you get time on the miscellaneous phone. You get some time on that, but then it's like a bunch of people lining up trying to, so then I don't know.
That's crazy.
Somehow I ended up controlling the Latin phone by the time I left. Don't ask me why or how, but
then you come out,
I had to check a few people, but yeah, it happens.
But then you come out, you're like, yo, I did that. Nothing happened. Not saying you thought this, but that was easy. That wasn't shit. I'm out now. What's up? I'm back in it. There's no band to take me away on tour.
You got to remember, like, when I went in, my mind state,
Yeah.
You know, in my mental state, like who I was at that time. I mean, I feel like now I'm like a completely different human being. Like I'm like, what the hell was I thinking, man? Like I was wilding
Isn't that
out.
crazy? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like it seems like a different, life ago.
It
you know?
is,
It's like
man.
it's crazy, but I was like still trying to. I don't know. I was trying to like, still had a lot of demons that I had to exercise.
A lot of anger.
A lot of anger. And that's something I struggle with to this day. Like I still can lose my temper. But
yeah,
back then it was just different. It was just like.
How do you control your temper now? Just because you're older, you're a dad, and you're in a different headspace, a different world, right?
All that.
Because you're still in the hardcore world playing music. You're an adult.
That's still a great way to get it out.
It is.
That's still a great way to get it out, boy.
And that's how you kind of keep it in check. You know what I mean?
Yep. A good show will get that all that out.
Yeah.
And then you got to think about the ramifications of your behavior. Now more so, like when you're by yourself and you're just
because you got
like,
people counting on you, man.
Yeah, you got your
kids,
wife.
Yeah.
You got your 2 kids.
It's not
you
just
got a mortgage. You got this. You got that. So it's like as you get older. If you choose to be a responsible or at least semi-responsible person,
yeah,
you have to factor all that stuff in. That's like. But
true.
back then I wasn't thinking about like, oh, what if I get into this fight right here? Like,
but it was just you, if any, for yourself,
punching somebody in the face, without even thinking twice. You know what I mean? Like,
but you were like kind of alone out there in a sense. Obviously, people were out, your brother was out there, but you was out there. It's like you're kind of on your own in a sense, Like
I was. I mean, to say I was on my own, I had like the support of like my brother and people like Vinny and like my friends, guys like you, all my Fahoya, like we had I had a really good support system.
We did, but there were points where you were kind of like not out of control, but like you were on your own shit and nobody could tell you no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
And it was just like,
and part of the support system, we were all similar age too, so we were all going through our own different things. So like not everybody was grown, like Roger was grown, Vinny was, but like some of the guys were older, but like some of the guys were like we're a similar age, so we're all still trying to figure ourselves out and figure out what we're doing, what we're gonna do.
We're all big kids too, in the sense as well too. Like, do we ever really grow up, especially doing music and doing what we love and all the people we know and hung out with? We're all like big kids in a sense.
Well, yeah,
too.
it keeps you youthful, man, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, man, the music stuff was always that, and meeting Lisa when I did.
Yeah.
Was a tremendous crossroads moment, like in my life. Like I was at a crossroads and like boom, like I ended up going the direction where I should have I should have been on. But it wasn't supposed to happen until that point. I feel like that's how it plays out.
Yeah, and then fast forward to now. I feel like you're like a more, I want to say maybe peaceful or spiritual. Like, are you doing things in your daily to keep yourself not level-headed, I guess? I don't know. I feel like you're in such a different headspace now. Like, obviously, it's like,
I mean, sort of.
Do you meditate or do you do?
I do breathing. I'm really big on the Wim Hof breathing.
Nice. That's legit.
I've been down with that for a little bit now. I'm not like religious with it. Like I should probably do it all the time. But I do that. That's probably like the extent of like, that's the closest thing to maybe like meditation that I would do, because it is kind of a form of meditation, it's like it's a breathing exercise, but I do it with my eyes closed. So like I'm sort of meditating as I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like it's like,
and that helps you get through the days and stuff like that.
When everyone was getting sick, people were catching this bug, that bug during this whole thing. And like, I never got tested, but I assume I probably caught that, nonsense. And that was my go-to thing. I would just do the Wim Hof breathing. I would do push-ups. I would, drink all my vitamins, all my natural tinctures and all my hippie stuff that I do. And, thankfully I was good. But like, yeah, I strongly recommend that to anyone out there, man. Anyone and everyone. Whether you're sick or not, when you're sick, it's great because it's like, just kind of opens your lungs up and it like oxygenates, you send oxygen throughout your body, and like it's great.
What about that silver stuff you recommended to me?
Yeah, I'm
That
big
was
on
great,
silver.
too.
Some
Yeah.
people listening to me like, oh, this guy's a wacko. But no, I vouch for way before any of this craziness that went on. Like I was bringing silver with me on the road, and you got to get the right one.
It's
yeah,
natural.
you got to get the right brand, and you got to get like the good stuff. But like the colloidal silver, man, like I back it. Like I've taken it on the road for like immune support, stuff like that.
You've always been like that. They're always like taking care of yourself in that sense.
Somewhat. I mean, not always. I'd say more so in the last 10 or so years.
But really in tune with your
not
body.
Not back in the days when we were kids we were like eating garbage and wilding out. Drink a 40, take a creatine, drink a 40, do a bump. Again, it's like weird shit.
But later on in life, like with everything,
of course, yeah. Later on in life,
and how you eat too, like you really you like eating healthy things and what you put in your body.
Yep, been eating organically since probably before it was super trendy.
Yeah,
I mean, I know people that have been eating organically for forever.
Totally.
But like, I started a pretty good while back.
Yeah,
and I mean, on the road, it's hard to like stay with that.
It's really hard, man.
You end up scooping down some GMOs here and there, but like
it's hard.
It's hard. It's hard to avoid. But yeah, we try to eat good at home, cook like organic food and everything. Yeah.
Are you a coffee guy too?
Wash it down with gin and tonic.
Are you a coffee guy too?
Yep.
Oh, you drink coffee right now? Duh.
Yo, remember when we were kids, we weren't coffee people, right? Like we weren't big coffee people. Like
I feel like that was for like adults and shit. Your parents.
I can remember.
It's so weird.
One thing I tell you, I did have a lot of different jobs in New York.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't like not having money. So whether it was if I had to hustle something or like a job or like I always figured out a way to like have a couple bucks in my pocket. But
yeah.
The point of this, how
CDs.
I correlated with coffee is that was the only time I drank coffee when I was younger.
Wow.
Was like if I had like construction job or like at one point I was like apprenticing at like a plumbing company in Staten Island and I'd drink coffee then. On my way out from Brooklyn, I was living in Brooklyn at the time, Bensonhurst area, and I would get my coffee and then hit the job. But I didn't know about quality coffee or anything. Like it was just like the blue cup, New York, deli stuff. Bitter water.
Yeah.
Hot bitter water.
Can you do plumbing too? Did you go with?
I didn't stick with it because of the band. Every job I ever had, when I just started to like learn the trade or like get semi good at it or like whatever, we'd get offered a tour and like, what are you gonna say at that point? Oh, you want to stay and like roll around and
asbestos.
Yeah, asbestos and like yeah, exactly. Like dig trenches for pipes or like do you want to go to Europe?
Yeah. So you just you dip and not finish it.
Yeah, and the plumbing thing I had off and on, like they kind of let me go do my thing a few times, but then at one point it just got like I got to go the music route and like leave it. But it's a shame because I actually respect that trade. I think it's like 100%. A really cool trade. It's a well-paying trade.
Yes.
So I kind of regret not sticking with it a little bit more seriously, but I had some fun times doing it, and I learned a little bit.
Are you a pretty good handyman?
That's a good question, man. Kinda, but I've kind of become that in recent years.
Me too. I'm getting better.
It's not because I'm like what I was always like this great handy guy. It was more so out of like necessity. Yeah,
Same.
Total necessity. Like
same.
Renovations at the house. What I'm doing right now. Like. You got to learn how to do stuff, and then at some point, some of the stuff you got to end up doing it yourself. So it's 100%. Like you better figure out the right way to do it, So yeah, I could say I've become way more handy in the last bunch of years for sure.
Yeah, DIY like later on in life when you really have to do it, like.
Yeah, I just cut holes in the side of my house.
You did?
I'm pretty proud of that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, with the help from my little buddy. I got a little buddy that helps me out where I'm at, and shout out to Buck 50. I call him Buck 50.
He helped you cut holes in your house?
Yeah, he's been shout out to my boy Mike, Mikey Legs. You know what I'm talking about.
Probably, yes.
Smash.
Okay.
He's helped me with various projects for years. He's a master carpenter. He's beyond handyman. I mean, he's a master carpenter and like can build a house from the ground up. So he's helped me a lot, but like at some point he had to go back to his regular job.
Yeah.
So then like he left me like, hey, pretend I'm dead.
And do yourself.
And I was like, and we always joke around on the job site like, hey, Mike's dead. We got to make this happen.
I love this. Something about like just having like the normal, like a trade or a skill, and like
it's awesome.
Not ever doing what we did, and just having like this normal kind of life. I don't know if that would have been. I don't know. It's like something like, is the grass greener?
It's satisfying when it's your house too.
Totally.
Like when it's your own house and you're like, I cut that window out right there, or like,
yeah,
I built that, like behind that sheetrock, I framed that wall, or like,
yeah.
When you did something in your house and you can remember, like, that you had your hands in on it, it's like it's
something really special about that. You put that time and work into something that that you're living in.
Yep. So it's we've grown up a little bit, bud.
It's crazy we grew up, but we're still playing this music and still playing shows and still
having fun with it.
Still
too.
Screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel the same angst from the songs from that many years ago when you still sing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that anger is something for me, and I'm not, again, I'm not really versed in like therapy or whatever, but like I don't really, whatever. But I think that that's something I'll have to, live with my whole life. Like, it's part learned, part genetic. Yeah. I think that's in my humble opinion. Like, it's definitely learned behavior because of my upbringing, but I think that there's a genetic component to it. I think some people have just different temperaments, that's just what it is. Some people are more docile, more chill.
Yeah.
Like some people, I'm chill, but, cross that line and then like, I get like,
totally.
I could be like, firecracker, like,
but you can control that more now.
Exactly.
You thinking before you like
absolutely
throwing a fist or whatever.
And I guess that's my point. It's like, I think I'll always have that angst, like that kind of anger gene. But it's how you manage it and how you work with it. And obviously, I'm 46 going on 47 years old, man. You got to...
You heard it first on the One Life One Chance podcast.
Yeah.
Freddie Malbers gave
I'm no longer 30.
Okay.
I'm always 30.
You've always been 30 in my eyes.
Which is a tremendous compliment. Thank you, brother. But, the grays are kicking in. I don't care, but I feel young.
Yeah.
But, I'm 46, going to be 47 in, like, next month, like soon.
Yeah.
But...
you feel young, right?
I think the anger is never going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if I could somehow utilize that and just keep throwing it into like the creative side, then that'd probably be the best case scenario right there. But I don't think I'll ever have a shortage of angst is what I'm getting at, I guess.
Yeah. What's crazy about thinking about that, you as a frontman, which you're one of my favorite frontmans, I'm not saying because you're my boy, is that like you always give it 110, 20, 30%. It doesn't matter how many people are there. If it's a huge festival, it's a small club, you always give it 100%. And I realize that talking to you now, it's like you need that. That's your vessel to release all this stuff that you still have in you, even at this age. And it's beautiful that still works for you. You know what I mean? You can get all that out and you leave it all on stage. Or you're drenched when you're done. But you always go, like that's your soundtrack to like, I don't know, your expression in a sense. It's pretty awesome thinking about it like that. You know what I mean? Like
I think you hit it on the head.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
I think you hit it on the head, man. I'm like, that's therapy. That's my therapy.
Yeah. Now I see it because now you told me you tried it once, you didn't. Yeah. Now I know that's 100% your therapy. You know what I mean? Like, and you need that shit. You need that release.
Yep.
Otherwise,
that and my family. I get like. Just seeing my kids and being with them and watching them grow up and like, doing, things with, my wife and my kids, like that, that balance is,
it's so important,
essential,
man.
Bro. It's essential for me to stay sane and like stay on the right path and all that stuff, man.
And how are you, how are you as a parent? Do you try so hard not to be like how your parents were in a sense?
Yeah,
or
I do.
Are you strict?
I can be, but I definitely try to avoid making some of the mistakes that my parents made with me.
Totally.
And I think I've managed that
Yeah.
And my wife and I have managed that. But, you know, we're humans, bro. We're not perfect. And like sometimes you'll revert back to like, you know, your emotions, you get pissed off, you yell, you know, whatever. It's like sometimes you just do stuff that you said you would never do.
Yeah.
And you do it, you know, but the difference is we're able to check ourselves. Yeah. And then we'll also have, we'll communicate with our kids. Yeah. Which that wasn't never the case for me.
No communication growing up for you? Okay.
No, you know, it was like, if you got slapped in the face, that's it. There was never like, hey, this is why I did it, or
no talk about your feelings or any of that stuff.
Just, you know, it was like, hey, you got slapped. You know why you got slapped.
Mm-hmm. Keep it moving. Keep it
moving. You know, very rarely would there be an apology about like, hey, sorry, sorry I spanked you or something. You know, like it was like, hey, you know, get out of line, you catch it. You know, but like. And I'm not saying, you know, like it's like that. Well, I'm saying anything, you know, it's like, oh, if you yell at your kids and you kind of hurt their feelings, now it's kind of like later on you can have a conversation about like, yeah, you know, I said this, you know, maybe I shouldn't have said it to you this way.
Yeah.
And, you know, I overreacted, but, you know, you got to, you know, you got to work with me, man. Like, yo, you know, like, listen, you know, I'm trying to, you know, like, help me out. Like, you know, if you listen, meet me halfway, then this is all smooth.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like anything else. It's a tough thing to balance, but
yeah,
I'm grateful. My kids are like really cool and like they have a lot of, you know, personality and they're real sweet and you know, so yeah, they're good kids, man.
Have you ever got to talk to your dad about any of that stuff, or are you guys tight? Is Grandpa in the picture?
I wouldn't say we're tight, but we're not like emancipated, you know, like like it's not like I don't, you know, talk to my. I talked to him on the way here. He called me when I was on my way here, random, and actually asked me that he said, "Hey, I want to see the kids." So you know, he thinks about me and cares and like, but you know, it's a weird thing with my dad because it's like. Yeah, like again, I was alone. 16 years old. I was in New York on my own. Like, I feel like at one point, like my parents got divorced when I was like 12-ish.
Yeah,
and like things changed dramatically after that. Like, my dad went and lived, you know, started living different lives with different ladies, and
gotcha.
And then my mom just, you know, I love you, Mom, but. She checked out in a way. Yeah. Because she was so heartbroken about my dad.
Totally. My mom did that too.
Even though it was so sick because it was a very toxic relationship. Yeah, it was like she should have been like throwing a party when he left. But instead, she was like
love, man.
In the bed, like with the sheets on, you know, like just completely depressed.
Yeah.
And so she checked out. My dad checked out.
You checked out. You left.
And I checked. And I was like, kind of like just bouncing around for the next few years and like living here, living there, lived with my mom, being a bad kid, lived with my brother Rudy, still being a little badass with my little friends, running around doing dumb stuff, skipping school, you know, up to no good.
You probably did that out of like
rebellion.
Yeah, and like and wanted to be even noticed or like
probably.
You know what I mean? Or like, look, I'm here I am.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you see me.
Yep.
You know, and it's like I'm sure your dad knows he fucked up, and it's crazy how like even with my mom, there's some things that happened in my past. My mom just different the way she treated me with different boyfriends after my dad died. Yep. But I feel like my mom was like, I love you too, Mom. Mm-hmm. Have like a selective memory of different things, how they went down. I know exactly how they went down for me, but later on in life, they seem to forget about that. Like how I got kicked out of my house, just random things like that.
Selective memory.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
though?
I know exactly. So it's what like saying. My mom has a different perspective on shit that happened. I'm like, and we all look at her sometimes like, nah, you candy coating this shit.
And it might have been a denial thing because she wanted things to be great and wanted to feel like it was like a functional family in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for us, you're a little kid seeing that, and that's what you see, and that's it. It's so crazy to think about stuff like that later on in life. And do I talk to my mom about this before she is getting older? Do I have these things inside? Because I did start going to therapy. Right. I had one session. I'm going back next week, and I want to dig deep, and I want to talk to my mom because there is resentment there. And do I talk to her before she's gone? God forbid. Right. Do you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that's like heavy and it's real. Do you know what I mean? Have that closure and get off your chest.
Absolutely. But isn't this like therapy for you though? Because I feel like
this right
what
now
you're
is,
saying, I could, like right now, like we're
I'm
almost we're almost in a therapy session right now. But I'm like comfortable because I'm with like one of my lifelong friends. But like,
it feels good to talk about it though. You know,
this is therapy for you. You might not even have to go waste your money over there, man. You might just get your mom back on the podcast and talk.
I know. And the first time she was on, she cried on here about my dad's. So yeah, there's a lot of things there. But
it really is just about getting it off your chest, though.
And just talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
I'm your therapist, man. I'm here.
Yeah, you're my therapist. Thank you, bro.
But I'm saying like all that stuff, it shit follows you when you get older, and then you become a parent, and it's like fuck. And for me, I didn't have one, but you had one that wasn't the best one. You're like, I can't be like that, and there's probably like a fear, like I can't do that. I gotta stay like I'm not that person. This is me and my life, and
no, absolutely, man.
And you know what I'm saying? Like,
and my wife is always telling me you should talk to your pops and mom, and I'm like, nah. But, and I'm not gonna put them on blast either. I'm not gonna like talk crap on them. Like I'm not talking crap on them now. I'm just stating the facts of like, I know they loved me, and I love them. You know, I know they love me. I love them, and there was, you know, it wasn't like they were cold people that never showed affection. No, they would, you know, hug me and kiss me. You know, like
they thought what they were doing was the best they could to raise you.
They were affectionate people, but you said it right there. Like, my dad only knew what he was probably taught.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And like, he came into a situation where he met my mom and she already had 3 kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And he's a young dude. He's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years younger than my mom, I think, something like that. And here's this lady with 3 kids already, even though my mom started having kids at 16. So she was a young mom.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's, you know, they meet through mutual friends. They hit it off, but he's inheriting 3 kids.
Yeah, man.
He's never done that. He's like 20 years old, this dude. Like, he's like 20-something years old. Like,
just imagine doing that.
He doesn't know what to do with 3 kids.
It's like Max getting 3 kids right now.
Yeah,
it's like crazy.
And then he's a hothead and has his own way about him and his own temperament to boot. And he was brought up a certain way.
And he likes your mom. He's in love with your mom. Yeah. But then the kids come with it. So it's like.
So it's commendable, actually, that he stuck in there, because a lot of people be like, oh, you got 3 kids, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know,
it's too much for me.
Yeah, but they obviously had a connection. So they wrote it out. But like, you know, it wasn't, you know, and in the end, it wasn't that beneficial to my brothers and sisters and stuff, because he ended up kind of being like, you know, a kind of a rougher guy, you know, like, you know, it was not a, they might have had a worse ride than me, I'll be honest with you, man, because, you know, they were around, you know, before I came into the picture.
You're right.
They you know, they were there for that initial experience, and it was not, you know, it wasn't like,
wasn't good.
He was going to sit there and go, hey, well, you can't do that, because, you know, it was like, smack.
Yeah.
Get your ass over there. You know? He came from that school. Yeah, so you know, their experience was a little different than mine. But no, I had that same experience, but years later. So maybe it was a little bit.
How old were you?
Calmer, I guess. No, I wouldn't say it was calmer for me, man. I see some crazy shit.
How old were you? When you came in.
Well, no, when I was born, I'm saying, like, when my mom and dad were together with my siblings for maybe a couple of years before I was born.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, maybe like a couple of years. Yeah, because they had tried to have my mom, they were trying to have, you know, kids. And my mom had a bunch of, you know, she couldn't, she I don't, for whatever reason, maybe because she had 3 kids young, you know, she kept having, you know, problems with you know, being able to have kids. And then I miraculously, like, happened. And then it was like, you know, my brothers and sisters always say, like, well, you were like, because she was always pregnant. So for like years, she was pregnant. But then she would have a miscarriage.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, another miscarriage.
Damn.
So then you were like, so they always joked that they were waiting for me for years.
Wow.
Because she was always trying to have kids. And I think she even lost twins at one point.
Damn.
Yeah, and she is a twin. My mom.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy, yeah. So anyway, I somehow miraculously like came into the mix, and then she could never have kids after me.
Wow.
She tried again after, and never could. But so I was the fourth. But yeah, when I came into the mix, you know, my dad was already with my mom, living in a little tiny roach-infested apartment in Union City, and shit was wild, man. For my siblings, you know, you know. But I got to experience a little bit of that too, you know, like later on as I got older. But he wasn't. My dad's not all bad either, man. So I can't oust him like that, you know. Like he definitely has a, you know, a loyal side to him and like a good side to him and like you know, I think some wisdom from his experiences.
I think Lisa's right though. I think there should be some closure for you. Like if you're not going to do therapy, coming from somebody who doesn't start doing therapy, and you're not going to be screaming in the mic till you're 70. Yeah, like
it's just weird. Like I'm awkward. Like to sit. I can't picture sitting with I could picture it more with my mom, to be honest, than with my dad. Like, and even that, I haven't even had that conversation with my mom, Dukes. You know, because but like
because I feel like there is a lot of stuff there, and I feel like you just let it out, bro. It might be emotional, be fucking heavy. You might feel so fucking light and brand new. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
could be, man.
Because if it doesn't happen, and God forbid something happens, and it's just you on this planet, and they're gone, you might. You don't know. I know what you're saying though. Yeah. It's crazy because my mom had 3 boys. So when my mom got remarried, we ran every fucking person out of the house. Every man that came into my house after my dad passed, me and my brothers
ran them off.
We fucking ran them off. So we kind of fucked my mom in the sense she never found her. My dad was her true love, and she tried to find this other love and have other men in our lives. Right. But they didn't last long at all, man.
That had to be hard too, man. A mom with 3 boys, like that's a tough.
I know she was young too, and then the final one was this guy named Jim. I forget his last name. He's a piece of shit. Hope he's listening. And he was a hunter, and he'd skin squirrels in the garage and make squirrel soup. And this was in Maryland. And he got my mom to kick me out of the house when I was 16. Yeah, man, that's something that sticks with me. You know what I mean?
Like how did you get Jim out?
He stayed, and after that, he ended up cheating on my mom and destroying my mom's heart. After that, they were both chain smoking the fucking house.
Oh man,
God
that's a
damn,
bummer, man.
That was a bummer. You know what I mean? But I feel bad for my mom because she was just trying to like fill this void.
Yeah, she wanted somebody. She wanted companionship. You know, like you know.
And we were like young.
She deserved it. You know, she deserves having someone to be there. You know,
we were spazzes like running through the house, like just in the, like you know. I don't know. I feel like we did that to my mom in a sense where like we didn't let that person come in and be with our mom, you know? Like it's fucking crazy, man.
You guys turned out good. You know, the biggest compliment you would pay to your mom is how you turned out. Yeah. You know, you're all good dudes. You know, you and your brothers, you know what I'm saying? You're all doing good things. Good things and good people. So I think that's all.
She did a great job for what she had.
Yeah, exactly.
And the time. Yeah, and all those moments and not really being around as much as you could, you know what I mean? And I give my grandparents a lot of props, too, for that, because they stepped in a lot. They stepped up? Yeah, they stepped in a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Were your grandparents
At least she had that.
Your grandparents in the mix?
Yeah. Not my mom's side. Sadly, my mom's family never came over from Cuba.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was one aunt. She's a great aunt, and we called her Grandma. Gotcha. She's my grandma's sister.
Okay.
And she lived in Union City, New Jersey. And she was like one of my favorite people on earth. Like I loved her. We all did. She cooked amazing food and would make this flan that was like to die for. She was the best, bro. She would tell great stories. Everyone swore she was a psychic. Like I'd ask her like, when I grow up, what's gonna happen? You know, like. We thought she was a psychic, and I think she kind of like did have abilities because she would like be like, "Oh, this and this is gonna happen," and then something would happen. Like, so she was just a cool old lady, and like the closest thing we had to a grandma on my mom's side.
Yeah.
My grandma's sister, you know, and I did meet my mom's mom. She came over from Cuba one time.
Wow.
On a special visa. And we all went and met up with her. And I was in New York, but I came to Florida, and like we all met her, and like everyone cried. It was like a crazy thing.
Damn.
And she looked like my great aunt, me and my sisters. So like there was a bunch of them, but those two especially looked very, you know, they resembled each other.
Wow.
So, but having Mima was like kind of having a grandma, I guess, on my mom's side.
You were super tight with her, yeah.
Super tight with her, but she was in Jersey, so when we were in Florida, we would only see her when I would go up or she would come down and visit. So, but my dad's side, I grew up with a lot of family members on my dad's side. Like my grandparents were in Florida on my dad's side, uncles, cousins. So I would say that by default, I grew up more with my dad's side of the family than my mom, just because my mom's, till this day right now, all my mom's siblings are all in Cuba. Wow. Everyone, all her nephews.
Did you ever get to go to Cuba?
Never.
Damn.
When I was young,
Roger went and played there.
Yeah. Well, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, he was supposed
to.
Did,
that's
and
right.
I was going to go. I was going to go check that out.
Damn.
And it didn't happen. Didn't pan out. But he hasn't been there since he was born there.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been since then. But we have family members that have never met us. You know, we've never met them.
So you and Roger have the same mom?
Same mom. Yeah. Same mom. And I mean, we met like a random cousin that came over, and like it was like one time like an uncle, like a couple random people on my mom's side.
Yeah.
But she has like 8 or 9 siblings.
Wow.
And we never met any of them. Like,
wow.
You know.
You think they tripped down you guys playing the music you're playing still, and they came seeing your bands before?
Yeah, I mean, I know that the people in Cuba know about us.
Yeah.
Like they've heard, like they've seen pictures, they heard, but like, yeah, I don't know what they think of it. I know my father's side of the family, they trip on, you know, on what I do, you know.
Yeah, and still doing.
I remember and still doing, of course. And I remember my aunt in New Jersey, I love her. She was like a surrogate mom. I was really tight with my cousins, her kids. And she would get nervous when my brother would come to pick me up to bring me to the city because, you know,
who knows?
Roger was young, bro.
Yeah.
He was like a 19-year-old dude. And
what a CBGB.
She would tell my mom, like, "Are you sure? Is he okay? He's okay to go with Roger to the city?" You know, and my mom is wild style in that regard. Like, what she trusted Roger a lot, so she was just like, that's her oldest son, and she was always, yeah, he'd be okay with Roger, and he did. You know, he looked after me, and he had there was always guys around looking after me, but my aunt would be nervous because Roger would show up like shaved head,
boots and braces,
tattoo, shaved head, like crazy leather jacket on, like in this beat up crazy van.
Wow.
And like, all right, Junior, let's go. Because they call me Junior.
I know,
family,
yeah.
You know my family calls me Junior. So that's another probably something.
Well, JC1, right?
Yeah. That's something that people probably don't know.
Yeah. So
yeah.
You have that tattoo on you.
Well, JC1 was my first tag.
Okay.
It's Junior Cricien 1.
Nobody's ever heard that shit.
Nah, Junior
And they
Cricien
called you
1.
Junior?
My whole
Why'd
life,
they call you Junior?
my family to this day calls me Junior.
Okay.
My brother Rudy calls me Junior. My sister, my mom, my uncles and aunts on my dad's side, like barely anyone calls me Freddy.
Wow.
But my friend Roger started calling me Freddy because I guess he saw that I was introducing myself as Freddy, and he probably figured, hey, he wants to be known as Freddy. He didn't want to be Junior. So he calls me Freddy. And he'll call me Junior in a conversation with my family. He'll refer to me as Junior in that convo.
That's interesting.
But he won't introduce me to people in public as
yeah.
But Junior I'm a junior. I have the same exact name as my dad, so I'm an actual junior. And it just was since like, I don't know, long as I could remember, like everyone called me Junior. That was like my name at home, and then if I went to school or anywhere else, it was Freddy. Like that was like my formal name, but
wow.
Junior was my lifelong name, you know, in my, you know, the endearing term from like my family and like, people close to me that know me like that. And then like when I started getting friends, I didn't refer to myself as, you know, later on, like my teens and all that, like mid-teens, I was not, you know, I wasn't trying.
But JC1, what did that mean?
I became Madball because a lot of you guys would refer to me as Madball.
Totally. But JC1 was your tag name?
Tag name, yeah.
Did you tag in Florida or just New York?
I tagged in Florida. I got suspended in one of those schools I went to in Florida.
For tagging?
Oh, yeah. I tagged the whole school up.
Really?
Yeah. MQ would be proud. I fucking bombed the shit out of the whole school. Because that was another thing, too. I don't consider myself a writer, but I love graffiti culture because it's attached to hip-hop culture, which I love. I love the b-boy stuff when I was little. I used to want to, you know, grab cardboard, spin on my back. Like, I loved all that. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Same. But tagging, I loved it. And I used to draw pieces in my notebook, and like I used to piece, and I had a tag, and I always loved the look of it, and the whole thing of, you know, the whole culture of graffiti. I was all about it. But the crazy thing is, like, once I went to New York and I'm hanging out with dudes that are now legendary.
Yes.
But they were just my friends back then.
Yes. It's crazy.
And I just was like, I don't care about that anymore. Any now and again, I'd cop a tag, you know, or like on a marker tag and backstages. But like I was doing music and we were going to clubs. Like I didn't care about tagging anymore. But like when I was young.
It's crazy because you get to the mecca of it all. And you're like, I'm not doing it.
Over it. And I'm like, I'll let these guys do it. Like, you know, they were on another level. Like, they'd spend the whole night doing it. And I'm like, I don't want to do that all
trains,
night.
Everything.
I want to go hang out. Like, I don't want to do that all night, you know? So, but I appreciate their hustle and their, you know, the gusto.
You're still doing it, too, man.
Oh, my God. Incredible.
I just saw, me and we went to Swingers, and we saw a mailbox covered in MQ stickers the other day.
That's awesome.
Completely covered mailbox. Like, holy shit. Like, everywhere.
Yeah, he's a lifer. He's a real deal.
And a legend. And
artist.
Like, and it's like everywhere now.
Yeah.
And a bunch of our friends were tagging, doing that stuff and all that back then. But
yep, he's the real deal, man. I was just like you know, whatever. You know, cop tags. But I went on a couple sprees in my school, and they were like, and some kid ratted me out.
Really?
And, yeah, and he was my homie, and we used to be like two of. You know, not many people were into graffiti. Is that what Down by Law's about?
Is about him?
No. But could be. If you think it's about you, it might be. That was always our go-to answer, right?
Yeah.
If you think it's about you,
it might be.
Maybe it is.
Goes back to like school. That's crazy.
Yeah, but that kid ratted me out. It was sad because I liked him a lot. He was good. You know, we were like homies and you know, we would show each other what we were drawing. I'd draw these characters, and he would show me his characters, and then all of a sudden, like you know, probably like a you know, a thing where I went on like, you know, a release thing where I was like maybe, you know, crying for attention. I don't know why, but like you said before, you know, and I did it with graffiti, and I ended up bombing like the stalls in the bathroom and this and writing everywhere, and like they're like, you're out of here.
Wow.
Like,
did you get kicked out of a lot of schools or no?
I never got expelled, but I got suspended like
a bunch.
So many fucking times.
All different grades and different.
It really started at 6th, 7th grade. It wasn't like when I was like
that's still young.
Little, but
grade though, yeah.
6th grade it started. That was when I got the suspended for. And 6th grade is when I got the graffiti thing.
That's young though. Think about it now, yeah.
But 7th grade, 8th grade, horrible.
Damn,
I was bad. Yeah.
You hated school. You didn't get any good grades.
I was just that rebel gene was too strong in me, man.
You skipping school, all kinds of shit.
Didn't want to conform, and I had, you know, demons that I was dealing with, things going on, and I think just the combination of all that stuff just like made me really, you know, like that kid, you know, like
could care less.
Yeah, but and it's a shame really because there were certain things that if I had the right guidance.
Yeah, totally.
I would.
Or even a guidance counselor.
Yeah, I could have applied myself, and I probably could have excelled in certain things here or there. But like, yeah, I just was like, nah, I'm not down with this program.
Because then you quit to go to New York. Basically, you left school for that. Yeah.
Well, no, I went to school in New York.
I know. I maybe went to school in New York in Manhattan.
Seward Park, and then I went to.
Were you better in school in New York than you were in Florida?
Maybe because I was trying to do better because that was part of the deal. Living in New York,
with you, bro.
I never like kept my word on that, and I'm big on keeping my word.
Yeah.
But I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I told my mom I'll graduate high school. I'll finish in New York. And so I went to high school in New York for a couple years or whatever. But Madball started happening, and it was like, fuck this school shit. Like, I'm going, you know. Yeah. I almost got there, man, because I did soccer for like half a season, and like you remember that. So,
yeah.
And that kind of gave me a little bit like, oh, that made it exciting for me. And, And so that, you know, kept me there for a little bit, but then I went to the, you know, that alternative school, which was about creative stuff. So yeah, we talked about that I think on the first one, but yeah, then at some point it was just like, man, going to Europe and tour.
It's crazy, man.
Go to South America, go and do all this stuff.
You know what I'll talk about too is like, I know you're not on social media. You're pretty much off the grid, and I respect and love that. But I'm sure you've read reviews in the past or message boards and all that stuff. And I feel like when all that stuff came into the hardcore scene, not the beginning of the end, just like, you know, people that say things with no faces. And I'm wondering, like, how, like, do you ever pay attention to stuff like that, or do you look at comments if you're ever online, or do you ever care about a review or something bad about your band? Did that ever affect you in any way, or care about that?
If I said I'd never seen that, I'd be lying.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't start doing the IG thing until later on. Like, I always had someone posting because I just like was not really about that.
Yeah.
And then at some point I was like, you know, let me make this more personal and let me get more involved, you know, because, you know, for the most part, people are genuinely wanting to like know about our band, like what we're up to. Like, I think that's the initial intention.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately with the good, you know, comes the bad side of like the people that just don't have any good intentions. They just want to like troll around, talk shit. Bots. Maybe they got beat up. Maybe, I don't know, something, you know, like they just, and so you have that element. So I've noticed it, but I try not to engage it. You know, that's always been my MO. It's like,
I know,
you know, you're not even, you know, you're not worth my time with that shit. But
it's a lot of time.
I mean, very rarely have I commented back on someone saying something real goofy, you know.
And do you let that bother you, like a bad comment or something that stick with you in real life?
It annoys me. Yeah. It won't sit with me and like, you know, ruin my life, but like it annoys me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it annoys me sometimes, especially when it's, you know it's bullshit. Yeah, you know it's bullshit, and
it's frustrating.
You know, you can't slap the guy in the face.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like, it's like
there's no consequences.
No consequences. It could be anyone, anywhere, doing it from anywhere. Like just, you know, just.
And it's happened to both of us and all of our friends. And it's crazy thinking about a lot of the friends and you and just people I know and it would never happen in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like all the people on the internet say stuff, they would never ever say anything to anybody's face ever. Yeah. And that's the most frustrating part, because if you do respond, that's what they want. Yeah, you're engaging them. You're giving credibility to someone that doesn't deserve that, you know, that doesn't deserve any type of credibility or any type of attention. You're giving it to them by automatic, you know. Do you feel bad for those people that really want? Yeah, I don't know what to make for those people. It's like, it is sort of a pathetic existence, you know, like. And it's sad because people just want the attention. They want, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they want. Yeah, I don't know what they want. Drama people, they just like the drama. I don't know. But I love that you're not on there. It's really inspiring that you're barely even on that shit. I'm on it to the point of like, I'll post stuff for the band. Totally. I'm not on it personally. Like, I don't have my own personal thing, but like I am on it through the band. And, you know, I try to like just, if I come across something cool, I post about that. Like, what I think people would want to see, like a cool picture, or like a report from a show, or like, you know, the things that you're supposed to post about, you know, like I'm not going to tell people, you know, I took 3 shits today, and like I'm going to tell people my whole life story on there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not my style. That's not me. You know, like, I think sometimes people get like put themselves out there way too much, you know, but then again, for some people that might be the platform that's their platform. So, hey, more power to you if that's your thing. But just know that there's going to be some, you know, someone's going to come and get at you for that, you know. 100%. I've definitely been there for sure. You can't win. It's like if you put your heart out there, and you're honest, and you're real about something. You know, you're gonna get a lot of people that go, "Hey, man, respect to you for doing that, and for being real and being honest and being." Or you're weak for doing that. Or whatever, and then you're gonna get the Mama Lukes that come in and like, you know, talk shit. Yeah. So me, I'm more private. You know, you know me better than most, so you know I'm like more of a private guy. But I try to engage people with the, you know, in the positive way, like with the Madball stuff. Like I try to focus more on the positive. Like I'm at the point now where like. I used to always be like
don't even pay attention to negativity or like bad like I try not to. I mean, I have, but very rarely like commented back like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
but you know, I don't even do that. Like, now I'm at the point where I'm just like, I see it, I might just delete it, or I might just block it, or I might just, I don't know. If you come on if you're gonna bring like kind of energy to our page, I'm not even gonna fuck with you. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, Ice-T had a great thing where it's like, fuck around, get blocked or something like. I forgot what the slogan was.
Because it used to be fuck around, get shot. You flipped it. Yeah.
I love that. I was like,
it's great.
I hear you. I got time for that in my life. Like, that dude's an OG. Like, he ain't got time to be playing around.
Nah.
He knows what he's done. Like, we all know what we've done, what we've accomplished.
It feels good to block somebody.
we're
There's like a
aspiring.
power in that. Just pressing that button. It's like bye-bye.
It does kind of feel good. I ain't gonna lie.
You know what I mean?
It's the closest thing you're gonna get to like give him a little bofetada, you know, a little bing.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. But it's just crazy. Some things I want to respond to too. If I see him saying something with my friends or something like that, but it's like, then they're gonna screenshot it.
Oh yeah, I want to respond for them, like when it's somebody that you're super close with. You want to be like, yo, what are you talking about?
I know.
Like, what do you like? You get protective of people. And
totally.
Like, yeah.
But you're never gonna win an argument on the internet.
Never.
Like, it's never gonna happen. It's like a waste of time.
Never. Unless you like that. You like that kind of discourse.
People can spend
like,
hours
people love
doing
that.
that. I can't do it.
Hell no.
But it's a tool that we need. You know what I mean? It's a tool for promoting our music, the podcast, everything you're doing. It's good for that.
It's great for reach, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, that's instant. Like, boom, somebody in Indonesia just saw your flyer.
Yeah, or anything.
Or something, you know,
or a new song,
whatever.
or a new record, all that.
Exactly. What you're doing, just in general. Like, hey, I just played a show in San Francisco.
But it's a super powerful tool, man, for sure. Like, we have to use it in order to promote ourselves.
And it's misused, like everything.
100%.
Like all the powerful tools in the world is very misused.
Yeah.
But you know, we know who the real ones are.
Yeah. I probably asked you this before. Are you listening to new music at this point in your life? Are you checking out new hardcore bands or hip hop or?
I'm trying to catch up with the new wave of hardcore, man. It's a lot, you know. Like, I mean, you know, like
a lot of great bands, man.
Yeah, there's a lot. You know, like the Turnstiles and all. I mean, they're not new really anymore, but like, you know, they're doing kind of, you know, newer things and big things.
Yeah.
So, but like,
it's been Scowl, Drain,
all those, you know,
it's been called End It from Baltimore. They're
End
sick.
It. I actually End It.
Gel from New Jersey.
Are they doing it?
End It
got some. End It. Tim, my booking agent, was brought up End It to do some shows with us, and I was like, yeah,
they're a dope band.
I don't know if they're going to be able to. I don't know if they got confirmed for it or not. But that's what I'm getting.
Yeah,
at.
they're sick. They're really
but
good.
End It and like, you know, the Jesus Piece, like they're definitely there's definitely bands that I've heard that I thought were doing cool stuff for sure.
But what do you
but
typically?
I'm still trying to catch up with it all, man. It's a lot right now. I mean, it's a great time, I think, for hardcore, really.
So many bands touring. There's so many great. Yeah, man. California.
There's a whole wave coming right now, like new wave, and it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, as long as they just, you know, pay respects to the culture, man.
And they pretty much, a lot of those ones do, man. You see them rocking old tees or your tees or like, they're like hardcore historians. They really appreciate it, where it comes from.
I love that. I mean, I think there's always going to be, like with every wave, there's always going to be like that group of posers that just like did it for bandwagon reasons or just, it was a little, you know, a little fad thing for them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whatever. And that just comes with the territory. But yeah, man. I mean, if you know, I love that there's like this surge of like new bands and from both coasts, not just you know, from and throughout the country, really.
Yeah. What about like hip hop? You listening to any new stuff?
You know me, son.
You're on some shit.
I'm 90s all day.
90s. So nothing like, you don't fuck with a Kendrick or J. Cole.
Kendrick is cool. I like some of Kendrick's stuff. I'm not like one of those people who are like, oh my God. Like, I'm not one of those guys. I respect him though. I think he really rhymes, you know. It's like, it's not like, you know, he's not just making noises, chirping.
No, he's a poet. I think he's a poet. Yeah,
he's spitting something, you know.
What about Griselda, like the Buffalo hip hop?
That's cool. That's some of that. I've heard some of that.
Vibe,
yeah, that's got the vibe. You know,
Joey Badass from New York. There's like Freddie Gibbs from out here.
Yep, Joey Badass. I know of him. Actually, Matt Henderson said his son is big into Joey Badass.
He is, and his kids in MF Doom and stuff.
Yep. I mean, you know how we are. We grew up open-minded about music, so I'm always open to listen to something. I'm never gonna just shoot it down because it's like, oh, this is, you know,
because I'm old,
new hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that dude. Like, I don't want to ever be that like older,
gatekeeper
like
of
jaded,
something.
bitter kind of guy with anything, with hardcore,
Totally.
with hip hop, with any. I'll listen to country. Like, I've gotten way more. I've always been open-minded with music because I grew up with all kinds of music. But I'm open. I'm even more open than I've ever been.
Really?
To listen to stuff and give it a shot.
What is something you typically listen to?
Like what you like, you know what I mean? Like when I listen to hip hop, I just revert back to the 90s because, and some 80s. I mean, I've been listening to hip hop since I was 5, I don't know, 6, you know, like a kid. But for some reason, that era, the 90s, really
because we were in it. We were in it.
We were in our
in
teens. We were in our mid to later
teens. It was
teens.
our soundtrack.
Like, soundtrack to our lives.
I had boombox. We listened to shit on St. Mark's.
It was the best.
And so we were in New York when all that stuff was coming out, and they were
Biggie.
performing like all that. Dude,
we would come on stage. We would put hip hop songs.
Yeah.
You know, we started doing that again recently, but like
we
were doing
it back then.
We were doing it back then in the
I
90s.
know.
We'd come out to Biggie. We'd come out to whatever, you know, whatever, Wu-Tang, you know, we would come out to different stuff all the time. And then later on, like when DMX came out, like in the later 90s, we would come out to like Rough Riders Anthem, you know, like
I remember that.
Yeah, like, you know, so that was always our way to like pay homage to like hip hop. But like,
I love how it was all connected. New York hip hop, hardcore, everything is all like street shit, all connected. You know, merged together.
Guru,
our style, everything, just how we looked and dressed, or man, it was such a sick time.
Now it's cool, right? Though, like now, because when we were doing it, it was still like the older heads were kind of like, you guys are a little too hippity hoppity for this shit.
They were when we first came around.
Like, remember, they were like, what's up with this? But like, it just, that was, you know, how we came up. We love this. We loved hip hop. We love hardcore, but we love hip hop. That's how we dress. That's who we are.
Yeah, I remember we go to the hip hop clubs, and I remember a couple times seeing John Joseph there. We knew who he was, but we didn't really know each other. He looked at us like we were the new guys. We give him like a nod, like we'd see each other and give each other. And he'd like, oh, this is the new generation of kids at the club. You know what I mean?
Yeah, John's face was always around down in those areas.
And the clubs and stuff too. But
but
yeah, I just feel like our bands, for some reason, man. Not saying that everybody thought it. But I don't think anybody really, not that people were doubting us, well, maybe they were, that thought that our bands particular were just going to be tri-state bands and like they weren't going to amount to much, and we were just kids who were just hanging out and weren't taking it too serious. I really feel like there was some people that really thought that about us, so it makes me proud to sit here with you 20, 30 years later, and we're still doing music.
Yeah.
And we've toured the world, put records out, and we've done this. And it's like,
and we're doing it.
And there was a lot of people that didn't think that was even possible.
Oh, yeah.
Like you were just a kid hanging out there. I was just a roadie in the back of the stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just beautiful, man. Like we stuck to it. You know what I mean? No matter what. And it's been a big sacrifice.
It is, man. It has been a wild ride, but it is nice that we've gotten as far as we've gotten with it, man.
It's crazy, man.
Like, yeah, and survive all the craziness, you know, like from there to here, you know, like, I mean, you know, you were with me that time, and like the first time I got stabbed, you know.
Oh,
like,
yes.
I imagine if it would have just ended for me right then and there.
It could have.
It could have easily happened. I mean, very easily. It came very close to happening, you know.
Damn,
and like
man.
you were there that time, so like, not to go back into like, negativity, but like, it's just an example. Like that was pre us touring, us really giving this music thing a go, and it almost ended before it,
a lot of things
started. You know what I mean?
That.
Like,
yeah,
so
man.
it's almost like
it really saved
happy
your life.
to survive. We're happy that we survived a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
and then also that not only did we survive, but in the context of what we do, we thrived. You know, it's it's like it's
especially you, dude, because your journey is in you had a crazy story, man, just your whole life and where you're at now, and all the stuff you've been through, and where you're at now is just like you're in a good place, man.
Yeah, we all are, man. I think I'm grateful. I'm grateful about it. I really am. I'm grateful about it. And so many people we lost along the way for different reasons, and like
and people still
grateful.
care.
Yeah.
And people still want to see our bands, and people still ask about new music, and they still.
And I think because we project that too, right? Like when we do stuff, when you guys play, when we do Hazen Street, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think we do it with our whole hearts.
100%.
So I think as long as you're doing it like that, you're good. The minute that your heart's not in it, hey, do something else.
Yeah, I never want to fake the funk and just go through the motions and just do it for something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, our joints hurt a little more probably now, and like certain little things, aches and pains, but that all goes away when that chord hits.
Yeah, you still go hard. You go hard, Freddie. You go hard like you used to go hard.
Yeah, man.
You just got longer hair. That's it. Do you know what I mean? Like you still go hard, man. It's
Thanks,
like
man. I try my best.
It's so amazing to make the stuff that we do. It just keeps us young, and we can still jump around like we were when we were bands first started. You know, like
hell yeah.
And that has a lot to do with the music and the crowd and the scene we grew up in. It's not so much that we stay in shape. We try to. I'm sure we both exercise and take care of ourselves. That helps as well. But something about this music and the energy of it.
Yeah. And
playing those songs, I don't know, man. It's just
you're 100% correct, man. It definitely gives us like a little extra boost in life, a little extra something.
Will there be a new Madball record soon?
I think so, man. I mean, we were hoping to get one out in 22, and maybe it's for the best that it didn't come out, to be honest, because we're not like fully up and running yet still. I mean, even though we're doing a lot of shows like in the States, we haven't gone back to Europe. We haven't gone to South America. We haven't done our usual routine of like all these different areas, So maybe it's for the best that it didn't come out now. We had some music. We sat on it. And then like I think hopefully 2023 we'll release something. And that'll probably be a better scenario because we'll be actually active, more out there, and and when I say active, I'm not going to be like on tour the entire year because like I'm about my family. So like, but the way we, somewhat similar to the way we were doing it before all this.
I mean, we're going back to Europe together after 3 years, which I don't know when this episode's going to come out, but we're going together next year. I'm stoked for that to go back with you guys.
That's a big deal, man. Rebellion.
Yes,
we're gonna be doing that.
Which Rebellion tour is this? How many have you done so far?
Oh man, I lost count. Maybe 10. Maybe this will be the 10th. I don't know.
And you and Life of Agony too was announced.
That was announced.
That's insane. That's great.
Yep. They were hitting us up about that, and we worked it out, and
it's a good package.
I mean I think it's gonna kill over there, man. We haven't been to the UK in forever, so and. That record, like that anniversary thing for that, that
River Runs Red.
That record's dope. I mean, that record's amazing. So, it's cool that they're doing that record. Like that should be fun.
Yeah, it's a good run. That's a good one to go back.
And it's nice, and it's not, too long. It's just the right amount of time for us. So it's like perfect.
And it's your first time back overseas in a minute, so
first time back overseas, UK. First time.
Be nice and cold.
Be nice and cold. Amazing.
Do you go on the coffee missions like Rusty does in every country?
I do.
Wow.
I did turn into a coffee guy, man. Like we weren't, when we were younger, we weren't into it so much. But like in the last, bunch of years, coffee's my thing. Shout out to James Coffee, by the way.
Yes, Dave Kennedy, man.
Yeah, that's where I stopped off before I came here. We played San Diego last night, and we went to his spot in Escondido, and
awesome
what
spot,
a dope
man.
spot. Yeah,
I'm stoked for him, man. And there's a Madball James Coffee collab out right now.
That's what
people can get.
That's what I drink exclusively.
Okay.
I mean,
he sends it to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a little machine where I make espresso and I steam the milk and all that. That's oat milk. I steam it up and I do my own cappuccinos every day. That's how I drink it.
Nice.
That's my preferred way. And man, all I drink is James Coffee. Like he sends me all the best stuff, man. It's like great coffee. It's like sourced from like great places, like quality, like just delicious. Yeah, so I drink it at home on my own, but I'll buy it here.
Would you bring a coffee maker with you to Europe on the bus?
Nah, that's next level. Is Rusty doing that?
No, Bill Stevenson from Descendants told me he has one on. They have a particular bus they only use as this one coffee maker, and he brings his coffee because he has to have it.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. That's not the worst idea. I mean, I think it makes sense to buy a machine there and leave it with your crew.
You should do it. It's an investment.
Like a tour manager or whoever, because I got my crew out there. And then leave it with them, and then like equipment. Or
but then you lose the whole thing
of going somewhere.
Of the mission.
Yes.
That walking mission to find this one, and going there physically is different.
And there is something about that, because
100%.
you're walking through the city, you see the town, you're getting out, and you're getting some.
It's like
air.
record shopping or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same kind of thing.
Exactly. And then you can compare notes. Oh, I went to this spot in. And
you tell each other.
Yeah, in Berlin, I was at this spot. Now this spot over here is better. I went to this spot over here, and
there's a coffee community. It's like a subculture.
Rusty's great for that.
Dude.
He's like, "Oh, you're gonna be in blah blah town.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go to this spot," and I'm like, "Oh, thanks. I didn't have to look it up." And like,
I was gonna walk like 13 miles today to go get this coffee down 7 miles through this LA through Germany, the back streets by a church, and I got there. Shit was closed at 5 o'clock. I had 2 cookies and 3 donuts, and this shit made me crazy. 7 cup, 5 lattes. Love you, Rusty.
Oh my God,
but
you've gotten Rusty down. Amazing.
Yeah, I just like to get my coffee sometimes. It makes me happy. But yeah, Rusty was like, "Yo, follow me.
Pistachio
I'm 10 miles in the fucking winter to get this one coffee." But then Rusty would have like 2 or 3 to make it worth his while. And the last time this lady, we were in Germany, she's like, pretty much saying like, "You've had like 4 fucking espressos, old man. Like no more for you." But she didn't realize Rusty was gonna walk 10 miles back and burn it off. But he's on that life.
He's got me beat. That's next level. That's next level. But
I quit coffee 4 months ago.
What's your deal with coffee, bro?
I get jittery. I go on off jittery, shittery, shit myself, take a nap, get dehydrated, get anxiety. The last time I had it was at Crossroads.
Jittery,
I was with my
shittery.
boy Tim. Shout out to Tim Millhouse. And I'm in the place 4 months ago, and Max had left his coffee and I hadn't had it in a while, and I just had a bunch, and it was like 4 espressos or something. And my whole chest got
you can't
tight.
do that.
I was like, "You're going to take me to Cedar Sinai right now. I'm having a heart attack." I was like holding on to the... So I can't dude, I'd never put nothing in my body. That's the only real kind of drug.
Oh, I know.
I don't want to call it a drug because people say it's not a drug.
Yeah,
people
no, it's not a drug.
Real drugs. I'm
it's
sorry to listeners.
But it's a stimulant. It does, it does something to you for sure. It's not I wouldn't categorize it.
Taking that back for the people who've done real drugs. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But caffeine, it affects me like I'm on something.
Sure.
And it makes me fucking crazy. I don't need it. I'm on yerba mate. This natural caffeine is
dope.
Nice.
Yeah.
Or a matcha.
Teas.
Matcha latte.
Yeah, matcha. Yeah, I know
tea.
Matcha. Yeah.
But
I love my coffee though, man. I gotta say, I gotta have like that first cup in the morning. Like I love coffee. I love the taste of it. I'm not. I mean, yeah, I guess the caffeine does something to me, but like, I like the way coffee tastes.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy drinking.
There is something about it.
I don't just do a shot of it to like, it's like people that drink just to get bombed and trashed and be a mess. It's like I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't drink to get trashed.
Yeah.
I want to get a little buzz.
Is that your
but I like to enjoy like the taste of what I'm drinking. I'm not like trying to just get bombed. Like like that's some jock shit. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do that. Like,
what's your drinking choice now?
What, alcohol?
Yeah.
I've always been a beer guy.
Okay.
Beer.
So you drinking different beers all across Europe?
I will say my go-to cocktail is a gin and tonic.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny because like an old white boy drink, but it's like I don't.
Yeah, that's your shit.
Yeah, we used to listen, man. We were doing the rum and coke and all that for years, like drinking all that kind of stuff. Like you grow up. Eventually you grow up, and then you discover a nice gin and tonic with the right kind of gin and the right kind of tonic. Not that you would know, but for those that know. And so, yeah, Monkey 47 is my preferred gin. It's from Germany.
Okay.
And just so happens my preferred beer is from Germany. So shout out to Germany for making amazing beer.
So
they have purity laws there, man. Like they don't tamper with their stuff too much. It's like what you see is what you get. What you taste is what you get. It's like it's very clean stuff, and it's the best. So Monkey 47 and tonic would be my go-to little cocktail, and Fever Tree. And Fever Tree tonic, and then beer would be any kind of German Pilsner. That'd be my go-to. And I'm not condoning drinking. Drink responsibly, or don't drink at all. You're probably better off.
Do you do edibles?
Nah, I don't.
How about that shrooming thing people are talking about now?
I don't do any of that weird shit. Anything that tries to like puts me in like a different, like I'm in a different world or planet, like any of that like hallucinating type shit, like it weirds me out, man.
Okay.
Like, I've never gotten down with that. I ate weed cookies one time, and I started hallucinating, And I was like, this shit sucks.
Damn.
I was like, I'm out.
Okay.
Like, don't give me that anymore, I like the buzz I get from drinking, and over drinking is not good either. Like drinking too much and like to the point of like you're puking, like you're feeling like shit. Like
that doesn't sound fun.
That's like, it's nasty. It's like, it's like, what's the point? Like, but like, when you get to that right point and you're enjoying what you're doing and it's like, it's a social thing and whatever. Yeah, it's cool. But I never liked the hallucinogenic stuff. I back weed for a lot of things. Like if it helps people, like medical marijuana and like CBD, like I back the culture heavy. I back it. But I personally don't. I do a little bit of CBD stuff. I'll put some cream on.
I'm gonna give you a bunch of that shit too. Right there.
Oh, I get down with the CBD.
Travis sent me that CBD stuff. I think you try some of the Barker Wellness.
Barker. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Shout out to Barker Wellness.
Yeah, but I can get down with all that. I mean, anything anti-inflammatory and like, but I don't want to hallucinate.
Yeah. And the final thing is I want to thank you. We talked about it before, but people never believe that you changed my life with Coldplay on the Hazen Street tour, like on the tour bus. You like, check out this shit, but I forgot what album it was. It was like 2003 or 4, but that band changed my life. And so I always talk about it. People get sick of me talking about it, but Freddie Madball is the one who turned me on to Coldplay. And that's, for people to hear that in one sentence sounds totally ludicrous, but you're a very open-minded person when it comes to music. And yeah, you turned me on to them, man.
Yeah, I mean,
incredible band.
We were all into, everything, man. Cranberries,
Woo,
Sundays, everything.
Madonna, I all that
reggae,
stuff.
pop, 80s pop. I mean, you name it. We
listen to
all
it.
that. All that. We love it. I love it.
But the Coldplays, man.
Yeah, the Coldplay might throw people a little bit off, But I love Coldplay, man. Yes. I did.
The listeners are loving this shit.
I came in from a night out of like debauchery and like savagery, and woke up in Royce's apartment. I was living at his apartment at the time, Royce and Warren. Shout out to the Lee brothers.
Yes.
And Yellow was on the TV. This before it popped off. It was just starting to air on, I can't remember what video That's crazy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't remember what video platform it was, but Yellow came on, and I was just like, I don't know. Something about the song, just like, maybe it was the state of mind I was in.
Yeah.
Like I was like slightly hungover, and like I had just had a crazy night, and like I just woke up, and it just put me in a trance, and I was like, I fucking love this band.
Damn.
And I was like, this is awesome. And then Royce and these guys walk in, and like, what the fuck are you watching? And like this dude's walking on the beach, and and I'm like, yo, this song is dope. And they were like, what? I'm like, yo, shut up. Let me finish it. I was like, yo, this song is great.
Wow.
I'm keeping it real. Like I immediately loved it. And then I grabbed when the album dropped, I picked that up, and the second one, and yeah, they make incredible music, and it speaks to me, And then I got to see them, and somebody hooked me up with some really good seats.
Live, dude.
I had like fourth row.
Damn.
In like PNC and Jersey, I think. I brought my wife and her sister.
Wow.
And it was like amazing. It was like they put on a great show.
Incredibly live, man.
That was way back. I'm due to see them again.
Me too.
I haven't seen them in a minute, but
yeah, the new tour coming.
I'd love to see them again. But
they just found a bunch of old shirts from like 20 years ago in a warehouse, and they're selling them at their shows, and they're recycling all their stuff, and they're doing a whole carbon footprint tour.
Wow.
You can look into it. I have to look into more about it, because a couple years ago they said we're not going to tour anymore because of the planet, how much it costs and all the stuff with gas, everything. And so now they're doing all recycled stuff, and like they're doing some carbon footprint thing, which is pretty sick, man.
Hey, whatever it takes, get them out here.
Yeah. I think I'd love to see them with you sometime. Like I'd love to make that happen, like us together. It'd be kind of cool, man.
That'd be dope. I would love to, man.
I was coming, like last time I saw him, I was walking out and I saw Mad Joe from Wisdom and Change walking out with his family. I'm with my family walking out of the Coldplay show. It was fucking awesome. That's great. Man.
So you didn't know you just randomly ran into each other. Oh, that's crazy.
It was really cool. Like,
that is cool.
They put on a really good show. It's
I bet you their production's gotten crazier, right? Cause probably from when I saw them, because I saw them like a while back.
Yeah.
Like, I bet you their production is like big now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah.
But it's all about the songs anyway, man. But
100%.
I would love to see him again, and I still love them. I still my go-to stuff, man. I go to sleep, listening to Coldplay sometimes.
Woo, it's good I do on the airplanes too.
On the planes, it'd be like my intro to the flight.
Taking
Panic,
off.
Don't panic,
don't panic,
don't panic. I put Don't Panic on or something.
Wow,
and that's like my first song that I listen to, and then that could morph into like Wu-Tang Clan. I don't know. Like it might get crazy up there. It gets crazy in the air.
It does.
You cry. You get all kinds of things.
Bro.
You watch a movie, you cry.
Isn't
like,
that crazy?
What's that about? Like when you're on a plane, like something affects you.
It's some corny, cheesy movie too.
Yeah, the worst movie that you would never
crying on the plane.
Yeah,
it happens to you too.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I remember one time we were on a plane and like Mitch is up there and he looks at me and I look at him and we're all choked up, like looking at each other. I'm like, what you looking at? We're like, we were both like choked up about something. We happened to be watching the same movie, and it was like a real sad part. And he looked back to see if like I was being affected by it, and I looked to see like, and we're both like choked up. Like,
wow.
I don't know what it is about.
It's got to be
flying.
something being in the sky or being away from your family or something. You're watching something.
I think it's all
get
that.
Triggered on something.
I think you're nervous because you're flying a little bit, and like. Your life's in the hands of like these pilots and like hopefully the plane's working well and like and then I think that just elevates your emotions and like everything. Like it's crazy, but but back to the music. That's how it gets with music. Like it could go from like mellow stuff to like wilding out. Yeah.
Do you have a top 5 hip hop artists? Is that hard for you?
Top anything is hard for me.
I know.
Because it's like a constantly rotating thing. Like music especially is like constantly rotating for me. I mean, I would definitely, there's probably names that would never leave the rotation, like Rakim.
Same.
Chuck D.
Nice.
He would never leave the rotation. Those guys would never leave the rotation. Biggie would probably never leave the rotation.
So the bottom 2 might rotate.
The bottom 2 might rotate.
Wu-Tang.
Yeah. A couple different and
Mobb
different
Deep?
guys for different verses. Mobb Deep, I love, man.
No.
As a group,
you never did De La Tribe and stuff like that, no?
I did.
Okay. De La Soul too. Yeah.
Tribe? Oh man, I was listening to Low End Theory the other day, man.
Incredible
I had it on.
record,
I put my kids onto it, and my kids are so open minded. It's cool. They were like, "What song is that?" And it was like. They loving
this
it.
This is bugging out.
And I was like, it's bugging out. Exactly. It's like, they're like, this is cool.
Yeah.
I love that when it's like, they've never heard it, but like, you grew up with it. Oh no, I love Tribe.
They wouldn't be in top 5.
De La Soul not as much as Tribe.
Yeah.
But I like some De La Soul.
What about Jay-Z in the
Potholes
top?
in my lawn.
Yeah. Jay-Z in the top?
Jay-Z's up there for sure.
Nas.
Nas is great. Jay-Z is great.
Big Daddy
he's gotten a little bougie. He's gotten a little bougie in his old age.
Who?
Jay-Z's gotten a little bougier in his old age.
He's
elevated to a whole other thing. He's like almost a pop dude. But when that record first dropped,
Reasonable Doubt. That was 96.
Yo, I was bumping that in the van, like in my headphones, like constantly. Like I love that record. Reasonable Doubt is a great record.
Great record. The album dropped the same day we dropped our first record.
Look at that.
So wild, man.
That's awesome.
I learned that the
same
other
day even,
Same day, yeah.
Wow. So yeah, with hip hop, it's hard to say, and I'll probably listen back and be like, I should have said this person, It's like, it's hard, man. It's hard. Especially.
How about like some West Coast shit, like
Ice Cube. Ice Cube might never leave my rotation.
Those incredible solo albums, man.
Because I love NWA.
Yeah.
And then you graduate to
Lethal
his
Injection,
solo stuff.
Predator.
Are you kidding me?
America's Most Wanted.
Cypress is up in my top 10 of all-time favorite hip-hop.
That's true. I love Black Sunday, too. Ain't Going Out like that record. Damn, man.
Cypress is way up there for me, like in hip-hop in general. So it's like, it's hard, man.
Are you playing with, Ice-T?
Ice-T? Yo, Ice-T back in even 6 in the morning, right? What is it? And then like later
Original
on.
Gangster?
Later on when, the OG stuff and then the Colors soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Colors is a banger.
What about Snoop? We like that Snoop record when it came out.
Snoop's cool.
That was sick.
Yeah, Snoop's cool.
And, the Dre record.
What is this? Souls of Mischief was from the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, 93 to Infinity.
93 to Infinity is an amazing hip hop song.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best.
So they're celebrating their 30th year, and they're going to do 93 shows. I just saw them announce it.
That's a trip. Man,
30 years ago.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's wild.
I love Black Moon, too.
Black Moon's dope.
Who else? Gravediggers. I fucked with Naughty by Nature back then.
Yeah.
Redman records were incredible.
Yeah. Naughty by Nature had some good
All
songs.
the Wu solo records, Raekwon, Method, Ghost.
Oh my God! Only Built for Cuban Links and all that stuff.
I just saw them a couple weeks ago. It was incredible, man, out here.
Oh yeah,
incredible, man.
The whole Wu-Tang.
Yep, Method Man showed up right in the middle of the set with Mary J. Blige. All I Need.
Nice.
Redman came out. LL Cool J came out.
How many people
came out? Sold out the Hollywood Bowl. It was incredible.
What's that? Like?
20,000 or more. It was insane. It was beautiful, man.
Oh my God! Well, good for them. They deserve that, man.
It was incredible. Busta Rhymes had a set. He came out. Busta Rhymes destroyed it like in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
He just came out in the middle of the show and just did his set. It was
he's
so many hits, dude.
He's a
showman, dude.
Animated, guy, and that's not always the case with hip hop dudes.
Yeah.
And like in our world, that's you better come. You better bring the energy.
Yeah.
But in hip hop, some people are more mellow, some people are more laid back, but Buster is good live, dude.
Yeah, he's incredible.
He brings it.
Well, thank you for being here. This has been great, dude. Having you in my house and my kitchen.
Yeah, it's been. I'm happy that we were able to do it in face to face.
Yeah,
it was weird on the phone. Like there was all that static, and there was I was like, I don't know where I was, bro. I think I was in France and it was like weird, like guys coming up to me while I'm talking to you. I was like,
But people can go back and listen to those 2 episodes.
They should,
because we cover most of Freddie's life. But this is cool because we talked about different things, and I wanted to do that with you, just life and just catching up. And
and when Chappelle was here, we dove into Hazen, which I think is something that we should we do again.
Is there anything that you want to accomplish with your life that you haven't done yet, music wise or anything wise?
I mean, creatively, I still want to. I got another hip hop record that I'm
about to drop. I was
going to
ask you about a solo record.
Yeah, I got songs I'm sitting
on. I love the Catholic Goat record. Was great.
Thanks,
I love that
bud.
record. Some great songs on there.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate
all I hear was
that.
gunshots.
Yeah,
it's a great.
Yeah, I'm trying to do. I'm going to drop another hip hop record. I would love to do another, at least Hazen Street EP, even if it's not a full length. We got a couple songs that we're sitting on. So, obviously, Madball is always, the main car in the train,
Yeah, it'd be awesome to get the rights back of the Hazen Street record from that label. I'm sure we could dig deep enough if somebody could look at that contract that we had.
I'm sure of it.
And really love to get that and own that and put it on vinyl, do whatever we can with it.
I agree.
I'm going to do the same thing for our Go record from 2001 because it's been like 21 years.
Yeah.
There's got to be something in those contracts that
I think so.
Because that label doesn't exist. I'm sure Epic exists, right?
Well, Sony, right?
Sony, yeah.
Whoever bought everybody out is who we'd have to, reach out to, and there's several ways you can go about it. But I would love to. That'd be amazing if we could do that.
I really want to look into that. Just see if somebody could look at those contracts and see.
Yep.
It'd be cool to own something.
It would be
something
great.
that we made together, like own it. You know what I mean?
And especially if they're not caring that much about it.
Where is all that? Where is it sitting? Like, where is those recordings? Like, what happens to that stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll look into that. But I think we should drop an EP.
Yeah.
And that'd be
I know Chad's down too, man.
Shout out to Chad Ball, man. I hope he's
going through a lot right now, but he's so positive, and we've been keeping in touch and talking about everything, and
he's got the right
really strong
mental attitude about what he's going through, man. I can't imagine what he's going through, and he's got a wife and a baby,
brand new baby.
So shout out to Chad Ball. We're thinking about you, bro. We love you.
Yes.
But I'd love to create some more Hazen Street with us all together.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome.
Drop another Madball record, of course, and drop my hip hop. I think 23 is gonna. I'm coming out like Tyson, son. Mike Tyson, no socks on, black shoes, no socks, knocking things out.
Will you be coming out shaved down with a Caesar?
Maybe.
Hard, man.
I don't know if my family would allow that. They don't even like when I shave my face. They think I look weird and different.
No, you look good with hair, though. You look good with hair,
Thanks, man. The only reason I haven't cut it is because of my family. Because I did it as a goof just like because I always rock short hair forever.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me grow my hair. What the hell? And I think I almost like did a bet with someone. Like, I bet you won't let it grow. And that person didn't even last. Like, they were cutting their hair. And I just kept growing it. You know, and then my brother Rudy started growing it like right after me. And then like we both had like, you know, long hair. And I almost feel like.
He still has it?
Yeah, he still has it. And his beard is crazy. So I almost feel like it's you know, I have a thing with him. Like, I almost feel like I can't cut it, you know, unless he cuts his or something. And like, my family doesn't allow it. I'm like, I just want to shave my head today, bro. I'm done with this.
I'm sure you want to do it many times.
I do it all the time. I'm like, should I shave my head today? And my son, no, Papa. Please. They're like, don't do that. They know you look, you know, they identify you in a certain way as like
totally, man.
Be, you know, freaks them out. But yeah,
it looks good on you, man. You always had a hairline going forward, man. Yeah, you've always had the hairline.
I think it's holding up pretty good.
Dude, your hair's fine, dude. My shit's shot, but your shit goes forward, so I respect that. I'm envious of that. Yeah, you always had a good hairline.
Yeah, but you're holding the line.
I'm holding
your
the line.
Just a little further back, but you know what I'm saying? You're holding the line.
The line got pushed back many times, and my son reminds me of that. He showed me pictures and shit.
Oh my God.
Hoy's the king of dissing my hairline too, my 5'8", but.
Boy. His hairline is ill.
It's so it grows forward, man. It's so
inch
cool.
and a half, maybe like inch and a half forehead, maybe.
Yeah, I've been talking about going to get that thing where they pull the hair in the back, put it in the front, man. I can go to Sweden and get it done real cheap, man. I got a friend out there.
Really?
People are doing that. They take it out, the real hair, and then they put it back. They replant
in the front.
Yeah, man.
That's
no
wild.
Scars, nothing like that.
I think I would just shave my head.
Yeah, I would too. I probably will.
Yeah.
Someday. I'm 52. I'm chilling.
Yeah, bro. You good, man. You good.
Well, I love you and I appreciate you, man. I'm so
love
happy
you too,
and having you in my life and being connected to you all these years and everything you put out in the world, music, and your journey is inspiring. And I'm glad you're alive and you're here, man. You're still doing it.
I appreciate you.
You look good for
bro.
32.
I appreciate you on many levels, bro. Like, you know, obviously the stuff we've collaborated on, but forget that. Beyond that, like our friendship, you know, from day one. So, you know, I love you.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
This has been awesome, man. It's been really fucking fun. 2.5 hours, man. It's awesome.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, man.
Oh, my God. These things
two friends
fly.
chopping it up, bro.
I need another coffee, man. I'm going to go hit that spot after this.
Are you hungry now?
A little bit.
I'm starving.
Yeah, let's eat something.
I want to show you the Coldplay doing the sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for listening to the podcast. You can find Freddy on social media. He won't answer your DMs or talk to you, but he'll be posting shows and stuff on the Madball page. He's really you can't really get in touch with this guy, which is amazing, and I love the mystery of it too. Yeah, I guess how the people.
But I got love for anyone who has love for us.
Yeah, who'll give it back to you.
Just know that. Just know that in your hearts.
Yeah, and I just know that anybody ever say anything about my man on the internet will never say it to his face or any of my friends, and that's the weird world we live in right now.
That's what you have to live with that, not me.
Yeah, they do. Right?
That's what I'm saying. They have to live with that fact, not me.
It's your problem.
Because I'll whatever I say about someone, I'll tell them to their face. Any day of the week.
Yeah. And that's not just old school.
But I keep it respectful.
That's just human nature. That's how humans are supposed to talk to each other. You know, be honest and straightforward.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
Facts.
Peace, everybody.
All right, thank you.
Bye. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos. I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life One Chance podcast is now with Removery. I have a code. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. Call 866-934-4570 or go to Removery.com. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations, U.S., Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to the podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH2O and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. Yo, people always ask me what kind of frames I'm rocking. I've been rocking Caddis for a couple years. They make amazing progressive readers, which I wear. Also, they make sunglass readers, anti-glare, anti-smudge coating, anti-scratch, and anti-aging. That's why I look mad young when I wear them. I'm just kidding. But they make amazing frames. Caddis, so stoked to have you guys part of the podcast. You can go to caddislife.com/Toby10 and get $10 off your first purchase. Stoked. Thank you, Caddis. Welcome to the fam. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. They have now blessed me with my own code. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives.